Did you wish chats open, tweets are sent out? Did you wish? Broken? I'm so confused. Good morning, Raven. How are you? Evening? Whatever the hell it is. I don't know. Good time day. Hello, Notoria. I think we. Oh crap! Okay, don't kill us yet. I don't have any of our character sheets up for me to edit on screen. But otherwise, I think I'm ready to go. If you want to start giving a rundown of what happened, I think. What does that mean? That's awesome. Oh my God! Stop. They can't hear you. I don't know. All right, all right. Testing. Say something, you guys. So they can chat hear you now.
I don't know. Can chat hear us now?
Hello.
Skirp. What's happening?
Skirp and the Gerp.
Skirp.
Marco.
Notoria, can you hear them?
We're waiting on you, Notoria.
Yeah, you've stopped streaming, so you stop. Okay,
Okay.
fixed. Start over, Puff. Take two.
Okay. Yeah, seriously, that should just be a splash screen for it. Anyway, right. Sure, we're doing things. We're rolling dice. There are dragons involved, probably. No, seriously. So, the last time we played, the party came upon Ismark and Arena. They were trying to convey to them the issue they were having with Arena having been bitten by a vampire and needing to basically get out of the shadow of the castle to get her to some form of safety. However, before they would actually do that, they asked that you would help in burying their father, who had a heart attack the previous night, as there were all manner of zombies and undead things basically constantly assaulting the house. And he was a heavy-set man and had a weak heart, and that was that. So, you guys then went to the Church of the Morning Lord, also in the village of Barovia. And it was evening at that point, and so you were trying to wait until morning, as that's typically when the ceremonies of the Morning Lord happen at dawn. And upon arriving at the church, there's this terrible screaming from the undercroft of the church, the basement area. And Skirp, in his infinite wisdom, was like, oh, somebody's in trouble. It sounds like perhaps a damsel in distress, and did his best to save said damsel, who ended up being a vampire spawn.
Yeah, but I saved her.
It's true. It was a him. Said vampire spawn was actually the turned son of Father Donovan, who presided over the church. So he is being tormented by Strahd, effectively, in this manner. The party managed to at least subdue the vampire by shoving him back down into the hole whence he came and rechaining the trapdoor. After said point, they saw through the night as best they could and completed the ceremonies for the former Burgomeister. After that, it was decided that they would move on to the village of Valaki, where Ismark thought they may have a better chance of survival. That turned into a little bit more of a quest than everybody thought. Mainly that they came first to the camp of the Vistani, who are kind of the gypsies of this setting. And they listened to their leader, Madame Eva, who gave them a fortune-telling. The fortune-telling, I put in everybody's journal. As such, it pulled, what is that, 5 cards, that foretold the party's future in Barovia. And those cards were the Fort of Swords, which is the mercenary, the Master of Coins, the rogue, the 6 of Stars, the evoker, the artifact, and the marionette. The last 2 are what's known as the high cards. Kind of they have more importance. The 4 of Swords is tells of some kind of like knowledge repository that will give everybody. Yeah, he's pacing them out in Twitch chat. They're hints, sort of, to the various things that can help the party in their journeys here. They also serve as warnings, as the final of those cards, the marionette, is in direct reference to where they will find their final fight, should they make it that far. After doing that, they kind of had a lot of weird, like, okay, that's cool, we're gonna get out of here now. They hired one of the Vistana as a guide, who brought them along the way, and along that way they saw the windmill that someone in the party may or may not have a deed to, but everybody decided it was best if they continued on to Valaki after that point. After arriving in Valaki and kind of dealing with some guards not wanting to let them inside the walls of the village, they made their way to the Blue Water Inn, which is where we ended. I think that's, covered everything. You guys walked in the door. Right now I just have everybody outside, but you did successfully make it inside the inn without dying. We'll see if you make it out of the inn without dying.
We did make it in the inn, you said. I can move my token inside the inn.
Yes, that is. You may move your token in the inn.
In the inn?
In the inn.
I feel like you started describing the patrons before, but I don't remember.
I did. In particular, one gentleman.
Are they
and
all
he will
looking
be-
at us?
Yes, they're all winking at you. All of them. The first that I described was the gentleman sitting at the bar, just to the left of Zeb's token, Squirrel. And that is that there is this merry-looking man with a monkey on him, who seemed to be some kind of bard, if you were to guess by his dress.
Garm?
In that his garb. He's not wearing a dress. It's his manner of dress.
And which one is that? I'm sorry, the one to my right?
The one to your left.
No?
So, yeah, him. I don't know. Your monitor might be upside down. I'm not one to judge. There is also an older-looking woman behind the bar. Two younger noble-esque looking, just to your north, and further north of them are two rough-looking, kind of like hunter, maybe even barbarian types. Look very close to like Gideon's token, even. Broad shoulders, lots of like fur and stuff to adorn them as hunter types. Yeah.
Stuff and things.
Stuff and things.
Stuff and things.
H&R stuff and things. Anyway, otherwise they're just some random kind of commoners about, common folk. They look generally, as most people in Barovia do, very very drab, kind of like they're just getting through. No one other than the noblemen really give you more than kind of a passing eye. Those two in particular, look at you and just kind of eye you guys as you walk in. I can move the Ismarks, the arenas and such will also come inside, just because it's not safe to be outside.
What time of day is it when we get here?
Well, as you may remember, in Barovia, it's always basically this kind of
Fair
cross between like dusk and gray.
Right, but is it get the shit indoors yet, or would you say a couple hours before we get the shit indoors?
It's pretty much time to start thinking about getting indoors. You guys had a fairly long trip to get here. You did make good time, but it's in the afternoon side of things.
Yeah, we didn't pay the extra 20 gold for horses, so.
All right. Is this sort of this is an inn, right?
Yes, it is.
All right. Seems like we should get ourselves some rooms.
All right. Yeah, you can inquire with the obvious innkeeper. The obvious innkeeper is obvious.
Shouldn't the nobles be paying for our rooms?
Should they? You haven't talked to them at all.
That's why I say that. I'm the
Wait, which
street
nobles?
rat.
Oh, Ismark and Arena?
Yeah, aren't they nobles of some sort?
Okay, I thought you were talking about the other nobles.
Yeah, I was too.
Eh,
No, I was talking
They're
about the people we're
noble-ish.
working ish for.
that's fair. Yes, they can do that. Ismark has some money, and he goes up and requests the room enough for the party, and the costs seem kind of high. You can hear him start trying to barter down, and she's very very adamant about the fact that it costs an electrum
Electrum?
to have you guys stay here for the evening.
Isn't that really high? What's an electrum?
An electrum is, I'll
Is
get
that
the
100
exact.
gold or 10 gold?
Let me get to the currency page.
By the way, even if it's 10 gold, that's a lot.
An electrum is so hard to read. No, it's not that much. It's like half a gold.
50 silver.
Yeah, 50 silver.
For all 6 of us,
Oh,
50
I'm sorry.
silver?
Wait, 5 silver.
That's
right?
right. It's not 100. It's 10
100
scale,
copper.
not 100 scale. Yeah.
Yeah.
10 silver to 1. 10 silver to 1 gold.
Half a gold.
Yep. So 5 silver effectively.
Oh, well,
that's
a legit price, isn't it?
It
6 of us?
It's a little high, but
it's a little high. Like if you were to look at
I will.
the normal for
Like,
just
if
a
I
room.
see him negotiating, I'll go over and talk and say, the inn would be better off with us here, and I think that should give us a discounted rate. Right? Persuading her.
Persuasive today, are we?
I'm a merchant.
The innkeeper looks across at you and it's kind of like, Perhaps it's always and he she surveys the rest of the people, and you guys are clearly armed. She's like, it's never a bad thing to have strong folk about. She's like, very well, I'll cut the price in half.
I'd nod to the guy who's doing the negotiating before it's paying for it and go sit back down.
All right. So at that point, you end up getting like all that space for 2.5 silver. So pretty decent rate.
Big money.
The gentleman sitting at the bar stool across from the innkeeper just kind of gives you side eye and winks when you get your way with it and kind of walk back away from the bar. The innkeeper continues with her speech with Ismark and explains to him that the rooms are upstairs. You can get to him by going outside and up the staircase.
You have to go outside
staircase.
to get to your rooms?
Yes.
In a place where
It's
you're
a
not
staircase.
supposed to be outside at dark?
Yep.
Someone may want to
That's how this place is set
some
up.
remodeling.
It is what it is.
That's why they wanted to charge so much. You gotta pay
Right.
for those renovations.
So Ismark, kind of finishes his bit and orders a drink. You see him throw down a pair of copper, 3 copper specifically, and walk away from the bar with a drink in hand. And Marina just kind of gives him a sideways, shakes her head, turns back around to the party and's like, so what's our plan from here on out? Like we're in Valaki, but now I'm not really sure what we're supposed to be doing.
Remind me, wasn't this one of their ideas to come here?
It was Ismark's idea. She seems like it's...
Like a waste of time.
Yeah, she's not really sure what's going on.
Was Ismark's... I'm trying to remember. I feel like it was like Ismark saying he just wanted to get her away from the town that we were in.
Yeah, it was primarily like Castle Ravenloft itself sits on the cliff that overlooks the village of Barovia. So it's one of those things like, if you're trying to get out of the way of like artillery, you get out of the way of artillery, like out of its range, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bad analogy, but you get the idea.
Well, Valaki seems like a large town relative to where we were.
Oh, definitely much larger.
So I'll tell her, like, there's a lot of people here. Seems like a lot of people come and go. Maybe there's somebody we can find here that can help us.
It's about half a mile across for distance-wise, so it's it's decent sized in terms of villages go.
Mm-hmm.
And she's so as she's kind of like, so what do you guys think? Like, what's your actual opinion here? Are we just kind of following along with my brother? Because she's like, I'm not so sure that he's in the right mindset these days.
I think
Not
it'd be
sure
worth
I've
us
met
trying
anybody in this realm that's really all that there.
She just kind of inclines her head to you ever so slightly. She's like, that's a fair assessment of the situation.
maybe tomorrow when the light breaks, or what little light there is, we can ask around a bit, see if there's any other famed hunters of monsters or people who deal with this sort of thing. Maybe somebody who can help.
Maybe a local church or something.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, that sounds like a much better idea than just getting to Valaki and living our lives out in this inn. So she's like, I think if you'll excuse me, I'll go bed down for the afternoon. It's been kind of a journey.
Of course. Are you feeling okay?
She complains that she's a little lightheaded.
Do I are there like symptoms of what I presume is vampirism, or because she's been bit, right?
That sounds like a religion check. That's what that sounds like.
She can't look any worse than Scarab.
Where did I had my sheet open. And
Scarab looks fine for a gray goblin.
A gray goblin. Did he start
Which
out
is not-
gray?
Is
No,
What
he
am-
started at green.
religion, or I'm also trying to see if there's any way I could use medicine. If I could use religion.
Specifically, you're thinking about vampiric symptoms. So
Mm-hmm. Okay.
vampirism is more religion than it is medicine. Also, the gray goblin should totally be Skirp's vigilante name.
All right. 18.
Paleness of skin, weakness, aversion to things like garlic. Not necessarily like an allergy, but kind of like refusal to eat them and trying to stay further away from them than maybe they might previously.
Do I know about how long it takes for it to set in?
It's a kind of a steady process, and it's a more how many times that they've been fed upon by a full-blown vampire rather than a like time limit.
Yeah. So if
Um,
she's been bit once, do I have a guess as to like how long we have, or is it more of a
it's more of a how
successive?
many successive bites. So as long as
Gotcha.
you guys keep her out of harm's way, she's
I see.
she's not necessarily well off, but she's better.
Okay,
off.
so she's not going to turn without there being another attack, basically.
Yeah, there needs to be another catalyst to make that actually happen.
Gotcha. Well, rest up. I'm sure we could use it for tomorrow.
And she starts over to where her brother is seated, and then she appears to think better of it and just takes off and goes outside, and you can hear the footsteps. There is so kind of where Tally and Gideon are right now. There's actually a balcony over them. So if like Squirrel, for example, could see her come in the door that's up there and then go down the pseudo hallway that's up there to the room. So you're at least fairly certain that she's in her room safe and sound. Ismark kind of he sees the door slam and just lifts his cup, takes a drink. It's just kind of watching the room. And otherwise, that's all that is going on for the people. They're keeping to themselves. The wolf hunters are a little bit noisy, but everyone else seems like they're content to just kind of keep their heads down.
Memory serves, somebody, it wasn't me, was asking about looking for beast hunters or something that was trying to get information on fighting vampires. Wouldn't these two guys be who you want to ask? I don't remember which one in our party was asking. It was probably Skirp, but I don't know.
I don't particularly remember asking after hunters, but
I guess I brought it up just a few minutes ago, saying that like people who deal with.
No, at the end of the last session, someone was asking the
okay.
gypsy guide dude about, where do I find out about this, or what do you know about vampires, stuff like that.
Skirp was asking about paladins.
Oh,
Stories
okay.
about paladins.
Yes, that is true. He was
Sorry.
asking
A
about
month between games is killing my brain. I'm sorry.
right.
It's fair.
There
is-
and that was more about stories. Like I just want, the tall tales.
Okay, so
Yeah,
we're
and there
not, so
was
we're not
the-
looking for monster hunters then. That's not a thing.
Well, it's a thing now because Tally mentioned it. But in terms of like the stories, like paladin wise, your guide on the way up told you a story about a dragon knight that was apparently big in these lands and was attempting to battle Strahd at one point in time.
I'll pull up a seat next to Ismark and ask him, all right, so we got the Valaki. What's the next step?
Move him over. Makes it a little more obvious he's sitting down, not just hanging out by the door. He just kind of shrugs and he's like, well, the first step was to get away from the castle. I know that it's not necessarily, the end-all be-all solution, but it's one step. We can keep going. We can try to get to Kresk. I'm told there's an abbey there, and that's like a church, so it may be safe. He's like, I don't really know. At this point, like apparently this is the good stuff because he's already kind of acting like maybe he's a little bit drunk.
How far is it to Kresk?
He says, I'm not really sure. Another day, maybe 2. Never been there myself. Just I've heard about it. He says apparently they have this big wall and this abbey that's up on the mountain, and I don't know. The I don't know piece is very just kind of like sullen and
Mm-hmm.
not like he's given up, but it seems like he's just done for the day.
I'm gonna order food and go to back and retire.
Okay. The good stuff. You can get because of your room charge, you get a soup and fresh bread. If you want the wolf steak, it costs an electrum.
For both of us or for each of us?
For each of you. They're
So
big
a gold
steaks.
for everything?
Well, it depends on. But gold would be enough for 2 of you.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Me and Gideon.
Oh, yeah, that would cover it.
Yep, I won't even argue with her. I just and I'll do that's something else more important than food.
All right. So Gideon and Squirrel are going on their way to, get ready for the evening. Tally and Skirp, what are you guys going to figure out what you're doing?
Wolf steak sounds good. I'm on board with that.
All right.
Electrum, though.
Yeah, it's a big steak, man. Like for a goblin, it's like 2 times the size of your head. It is the span of your ears.
That is a big steak.
Bad
Yeah,
children.
it's a mighty steak.
Make a goblin.
We're at a
grow big and
robot that would
strong.
call it Voltron. Loved by good and feared by evil. The steak. That's how good it is. Anyway.
Is so how fresh in the mind of ours is the tarot reading?
Pretty fresh. I mean, it was this morning.
Yeah. So the dude at the bar with the monkey seems. It's not much of a leap to see that he is the artifact representation.
I would say not, especially because as you guys kind of spend some time here, he kind of gets up and starts moving around the room and telling stories, and you get the idea that he is actually quite entertaining. You hear that he's the ringmaster of some kind of like circus, like traveling circus. And he's telling these weird stories about this midget that drinks but can't get drunk, and a werehair. It's this little boy that turns into a rabbit when the moon is full, and this giant man-eating plant that can sing. It's all of his stories are just kind of like outlandish, but sounds very kind of like maybe one of those like creepier traveling circuses might be, with like a bearded lady or like a bearded man and a tattooed lady. Not quite the right way. Like you're like, shouldn't that be a bearded lady and a tattooed man? And he's like, no. The tattooed lady and a bearded man. It's a great beard. You should see it.
I think I'll pick up some of the bread and soup that come with the room, and stay with Ismark at the table, listening to this guy's stories until he comes by our table specifically, perhaps to talk with us.
Okay. And he will, he kind of keeps making his rounds. He gives the nobles at the central table. He just kind of looks at them and he's like, shrugs, moves on. It's like, these guys are kind of boring. And eventually he makes it to you guys, Ismark and Tally, and wherever Skirp's at in this. I assume you're just kind of in the background watching. I don't know if you've actually taken a seat at the table or not.
No. A steak like this is a standing job.
Fair enough. And he says, "So my stories are quite interesting." He says, "But by the look of you and your friends, I'd say that your stories are a fair bit more interesting than mine. Uh, Tell me, what brings you to these odd parts of Barovia?"
We seek shelter. We traveled all day today to get further away from the menace that lives atop of Castle Ravenloft.
He just kind of nods. He says, "That's a good as reason as any to travel in these lands." And he says, "Whereabout are you headed to? Here still? Surely this can't be the end of your journey, for it would have been a very short journey."
Ideally not, but here's where our journey starts. And I think we have some decisions to make as to where we head to next.
He says, "Well, I mean, could always stay around in town for a few more days and see how things go around. The Burgomeister's having another one of his festivals again here in, I think, maybe 3 days' time." And he looks back and kind of yells across the bar, "Is Danica, when's that Burgomeister of yours having his next festival or what haves it?" She's like, yeah, 3 days' time from now." And she just kind of rolls her eyes. He's, "Which one's that?" She's like, "Well, we just did the wolf one." She said, "So I think we're on the sun one again." "Yep, that'll be it. The Festival of the Blazing Sun. One of those again." And she just kind of like throws her hand up in the air, like she's just kind of annoyed with having to even think about the whole situation. She's like, "If you want to know about it, there's flyers all over town, and if they haven't gotten up yet, that demon-armed right-hand man of his will be putting them around town soon enough."
You don't sound super enthused.
And she, in a very like rehearsed manner, kind of like very like using her arms to like kind of portray to a crowd, she just says, "All will be well," and makes like a mock bow and rolls her eyes.
I don't know. I'm kind of in the mood for a festival.
And the ringmaster gentleman
Will
says,
you be
"Well,
in that same mood in 3 days?
you can always stay around town and find out what happens. They're certainly a spectacle, that's for sure." And sarcasm is, it's real. There's no way you can miss it. He's not trying to hide it,
Oh, I think you underestimate.
unless of course it's lost on a goblin for goblin reasons. But those are the best kind of reasons, I'm told.
What brings this fella to?
Nope. Figured it out.
Nope, got that one.
Got
First
it.
try. Nicely done, sir.
What brings? Told you a little bit of our story. What brings you to this town? And sounds like you stay around these parts quite a bit.
He's like, "Well, only because I have to. That fog and whatnot. You don't really get to get out much after you get stuck in that." He says, I'm a ringmaster by trade, and my travel with I have a wagon out there. I don't know if you saw it or not, which you guys actually didn't because the way you came into town. But he says, we've been just kind of stuck here for the better part of a month now because we don't know how to get out. Trying to figure out if these Vistani know the secret to it. It seems like they might, but they're pretty tight-lipped about it. So for now, I'm just kind of hanging around, seeing what I can do. Try to be entertaining, make a little bit of coin if I can help it.
Indeed.
And he motions over his shoulders. The Martikovs here have been quite generous in letting me stay, here in the inn, so I'm not camping out and staying in my wagon all the time. Good people, these.
Is he like referring to the nobles or to the woman who's manning the?
He's referring to the woman that's manning the bar.
Gotcha. Well, if you ever need help from was it Tristani? Is that right?
Vistani,
sorry. You probably could guess this. A little coin goes a long way with them, it seems.
It's like, that's what it seems, but they've been giving me a wide berth for some reason. I don't really know what that's on about.
What's with the monkey?
this? Honey, he makes kind of like a chirping sound, and Monkey comes, crawling up around him and comes up to his shoulder and says, "This here's Piccolo. Piccolo's part of my show."
Do you guys perform regularly? Is there a chance
says,
you get a performance one of these upcoming nights?
And he says, "Say hello, Piccolo." Piccolo makes a chirping sound and kind of waves his hand up. He says he does that. He used to do some other moves too, but hasn't been quite feeling himself lately. I think it's all that weird fog.
Yeah, it puts a damper on things.
Yep, it'll definitely do that. Says, so what do you guys think you'll be doing after these parts? Just gonna hang out for a few days and watch the festival, and then that'll be it?
I don't rightly know. I looked at Skirp to see if he has any thoughts about where we'll be headed.
Well, I was gonna finish the steak, and then in a few days, I think maybe attend a festival, and then, I don't know. I'm not sure how I got here, and I'll probably just try and get a feel for the place.
I think at the end of the day, none of us or our traveling companions are brought here by choice. Imagine it's probably not the first of that story you've heard, but at some point we all have lives outside of Barovia we'd like to go back to.
The gentleman just kind of nods. He's like, "Yep, definitely. I hear that." It's like, like I said, I've already been here for a month and haven't had much luck yet. So here's hoping. And he says, "I'm gonna go back here and continue my conversation with Mrs. Martikov. But if you need anything, and the name's Rictavio, just let me know."
Talibeth, nice to meet you.
He very large, flourish bow, and then kind of turns on his heel, walks away. Because it's so far of a walk. It's effectively just like a bow and then a direct turnaround, and he's sitting back at the bar.
Rictavio? Is that what you said?
Yes, Rictavio.
That's just a great name.
It is a great name.
Rictavio. I will turn on his nameplate since he has been introduced.
He seems nice.
You guys have met worse people here.
Uh-huh. I'll take any. This seems way better.
Speaking of, I can turn on Irina and Ismark's nameplates too, just so you guys know which tokens are which. You've known them for a while. Alright. So you know that there's going to be a festival in some 3 days' time. Ismark has kind of mused about some ideas, but you don't know if he's serious or drunk or what's going on. At this point, he has already been to the bar and back a couple times, and he's been dropping some coin. So it seems like maybe he's decently well off, or at least his priorities are drink and his sister. Though at this point it seems like drink is the top.
I'll probably just keep snacking on soup and bread until it becomes sufficiently late enough to go to sleep.
All right. The after Rictavio leaves you guys, the nobles make their way to your table, and they're very probing in their questions. Like they're trying to figure out where you guys came from, and they want to know your guys' story. Like they're acting very interested, but they're not giving very much of their who they are or anything like that. They're just like, you guys seem interesting. Like what's going on? What's your story? Where are you from? What's your name? What's your sign? ASL. Yeah, there you guys go. ICQ. People are old enough so you remember that.
Yeah.
Get off my lawn.
27 female, common, elvish, dwarvish, halfling.
It's funny, she doesn't look very Druish to me.
What was the name of the town we were from? I apologize. Barovia is what I keep thinking of, but that's not the name of the town, right?
The village, so the lands are Barovia, but the village is also Barovia.
Oh, nah.
The first village.
Barovia.
Yeah,
Funny
Barovia,
enough.
Barovia.
Funny enough, that's also the most common name in the town.
Just
It's a family name.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, it is.
I'll probably just answer them fairly straightforwardly, but not give them any more detail than is required to answer most of the questions. So we're coming from, weird travelers that got lost in the fog, end up in Barovia, the town. And we're trying to get out of there and heard that this might be a good place to seek passage away from this place.
Or like away. They're kind of confused. Like if there was a question asked, they don't understand it, even though there wasn't really a question. It's more of a statement. They're like, "There's no way from here. Like this is just these are the people that are here. Everybody's just when you're here forever."
That's seemingly the case, but we've been here only a couple days, so we might still have a little bit of hope to try to find a way out of this place.
I'm like, well, I don't know. They're not convinced that they're like, yeah, you guys are just making stories. Like you're like that Rictavio fellow. You're entertainers. It's a good one. Getting out of this place. Yeah.
Some of us have jokes.
They're like, and good ones too. And,
Mm-hmm.
clap you on the back. You're like, they're funny. I'll buy you a drink.
That won't be necessary.
And he's like, no, I insist. And he walks over to the bar and slaps down an electrum and comes back over with a glass full of a red wine substance.
I sort of nod, accept it, and just kind of put it down in front of me.
Undefined. Anyway. Other than those guys, nope. Comes up and bugs you guys or inquires about anything for the rest of the evening. The fire burns low a couple times. You see a young boy come out from the back that looks like it's probably the innkeeper's son, just by the looks. And he throws some new wood on the fire and whatnot. But otherwise, the evening's pretty calm. So if you have nothing else you wish to do with the evening, we shall retire you and get on with the next day.
sounds good.
Okay. The next day.
I'm sorry, before we continue, what was the name of this inn?
This is the Blue Water Inn.
Thank you.
You are welcome. I wonder if I can fix that for you. It won't matter. See if you guys stay here for the next day or not. All right, so the day. Arena is actually up quite early. She's down in the common room already when most everybody gets up. Rictavio is not present. We'll make him go away. The noble brothers are also not present. The commoners are not present. It's pretty much just the party and the innkeeper at this point. Oh, and the wolf hunters aren't there either. Be gone.
Bye, wolf hunters.
Day, as you guys remember here, it's not so much day as it's Seattle spring. No, it's not that bad here. Very gray, overcast. It tends to drizzle and be foggy a lot. Things like that. Today it's not horrid. It's not raining, but it's dim out. There's no beams of sunlight coming through the overcast or anything like that. So Ismark will eventually stumble downstairs, emphasis on the stumble, and make his way into the room looking for the common room, looking for food, which the innkeeper is more than happy to provide. So what will you do with your day?
Well, when everybody gathers, I'm going to share the information that we kind of came across last night. That there is a festival coming up with the Blazing Sun. That maybe isn't super interesting. It might just be a festival. It might just be people blowing off steam. But it's of the Blazing Sun, which seems antithetical to, or at odds with, Strahd and darkness and bad things. So maybe there'd be some people. So maybe some people of the light will be around that perhaps maybe it'll attract them to come out. Maybe we can figure out a plan. Maybe it'll be something to learn from them.
All right. Well, the day is your oyster. So shuck it as you see fit.
That sounds dirty.
I'm now hungry. Thanks.
It is. You may take it in whatever manner you desire it to be. Ismark seems to be a little more kind of in line with things this morning, and he's like, let's if nothing else, why don't we take a look around town? It's like, I'm not really sure what we should do from here. Truth be told, this was as far as my idea got. Skirp, there's stables back there if you're doing your sweet paladin rogue impression.
Yeah, I'm just having a little look around.
There's a fountain out front. Back where you are right now, there is a small set of stairs that lead into the inn, the rear entry to the inn, if you will. There were double doors in the back. Definitely a stable.
Okay. This back room here is a stable.
Yes, that is accurate.
Interesting.
Bring Torchy over, see if that helps.
Torchy.
I'll see if it works on my side. That'd be interesting. I don't see it moving. There it is. Okay, so Torchy lights up for me on the battle map. That's helpful.
Battle map.
Well, because I'm watching I have the stream open just to see how the lighting's working.
Oh. Yeah, Torchy's very useful.
Yeah.
Can I formalize this relationship?
Yeah, I mean, you're the one that usually uses torches, so.
Does Torchy give off that much distance?
No, something's wrong with Torchy. He's only supposed to give off 20 feet. For some reason, he's giving off all the light.
All the light
So-
forever.
Well, no, not that he's giving off light. It's that he's giving us line of sight like he's a person.
Yeah.
If he just gave off light, it would be different. But he's actually giving us sight. Oh, now he's gone.
Let's see what happens.
Bye,
with that. I'll see
Torchy.
see what updates in a second.
Miss you.
Goodbye, Torchy. All right, I'm going to drag Torchy back to the front and see what that does from my side. Maybe nothing.
Maybe everything.
Maybe everything. Oh, maybe this is the problem. Let's try that. Anyway, technical issues aside. So you have at least, Skirp is off doing his exploration bit, and Ismark seems kind of like, I might be in for exploring.
I'm gonna go be a man about
town.
I'm down for exploring the town and finding out more about the festival.
Okay. As you guys peruse town, and I'll bring you back out on the larger map here so you can see how Valaki looks. I'll wait for it to load on my side to see if I need to give you guys a light or not. There's no reason you can't just see the whole bloody thing.
There we go.
All right.
So
I
we
need to
entered
realign them.
bottom right.
Yeah, bottom right where the yellow block is, and the Blue Water Inn is, I believe, N5. But I'll highlight the no N2.
I think your headset's
There's-
dying, Pef.
There's
Is
no
it?
water on this map at all. I don't see how it could be a blue water or anything. You sound fine to me.
Okay.
You don't hear him every now and then getting like kind of robotic.
Nope.
Not really.
Domo.
Well, then apparently it's just me, so don't worry about it.
All right, I've highlighted N2 in your programs. That is where the Blue Water Inn is. So you can see you guys came, halfway through town before you came to a full and complete stop for the evening last time. Yeah, so the town is, as I said, you are to do with as you please in terms of exploration, I might add. So where to? North, south, east, west? Nowhere. Stay at the inn and get drunk. Strahd's not such a bad guy. We'll just wait for him to come, take arena. We can,
Sounds like a good deal to me.
All right, next campaign. Who's DMing?
Thanks, Steph, a lot. Again, thank you.
Let's see. Did we ask about churches? I wasn't around when you were downstairs.
Nobody has specifically asked for directions to a church.
I was just about to.
Okay. Whom before you leave the inn, or just first random guard you run into?
Really, I'm just gonna start walking about town, looking
Shouting
for things that are
church?
church shaped.
Church.
Here, church.
Things that are church shaped. In what direction, sir?
Good question. I
Cardinals are coming online
Yeah,
right now.
I'm going,
expect the problem.
while we're walking around town, keep an eye out for the shadier enterprise of this town and see what I can learn from them. I do know thieves can't.
Okay.
Looks like I got 4 choices there, so we'll just make it a 1 to 4.
That works.
It all looks the
I
same.
like the cut of your jib.
Do we like know what this map looks like? Because I have a guess about where the church is just based on the building shapes.
Don't. I mean, you have an idea of where you've been.
Buy a map.
Which way is 3? Is that south?
This way.
All right. Going along, that will lead you past a couple of more important structures. Those structures will be coming online shortly.
So, yeah,
This
and then
leads you
probably-
past a cramped-looking shop with a dark entrance portico, above which hangs a wooden sign shaped like a rocking horse, with a large stylized bee engraved on both sides. The bee is in the manner of kind of
Binky.
like German
Fancy.
kind of stylings, so it looks very Bavarian. It's not just bee for Bavaria, but it has that style to it. And through the dirty glass, you see a jumbled display of toys and hanging placards, which bear the slogan rather that says "Is no fun, is no Blinsky."
Wait, what?
Is no fun, is no Blinsky.
What do we? Wasn't that on the teddy bear that we got?
It was.
I
Yes,
pull
it
out
was.
the doll. That it was Gertrude's, right?
Yep, that is correct. It was Gertrude's doll, who was from session 2 or 3. You met a woman named Mary. That was her daughter, who appears to have run away from home.
Yeah.
Crap! Didn't we promise to find that daughter?
You did.
Wait, did
We
we?
are the worst adventurers.
Did
well,
we promise or?
the paladin, the
The
cleric
goody good.
promised.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, don't worry, we'll find her.
Mm-hmm.
So you can, you can check out the toy shop if you so desire.
That's N7?
Otherwise, yes, that is N7. Otherwise, you can head to N8, which I will tell you if you decide to do that or not.
I think I'll just take note of it, but I don't.
Yeah.
What do you think, Skirp?
I will pause for a moment and close my eyes tightly and try and commit this to memory. Focus really, really, really hard. And then we can move on towards the square. Like I don't
Mhm.
I'll think about it for a while.
Okay. You guys move on to N8 then. Which is the town square, as it turns out. The shops and homes that enclose the town square, decorated with limp, tattered garlands, painted wooden boxes filled with tiny dead flowers, and other kind of like things that look like a fair, or a festival supposed to be going on. At the north end of the square, which is where you guys come in through, there are square stocks set up, locked into which are several men, women, and children wearing crude plaster donkey heads. In the center of the square, peasants in patchwork clothing kind of give you guys the side eye as they are coming in to draw water from the fountain at the center. There's a statue in the center of the fountain of a gray man, kind of imposing looking, and he looks off to the west. All around the square are posters, and these posters say, "Come one, come all, to the greatest celebration of the year, the Wolf's Head Jamboree. Attendants and children required. Pikes will be provided. All will be well." And it is signed the Baron.
Pies will be provided.
Pikes.
Pikes, like
Yes.
Like
Sticks?
like
sticks
long
with-
sharpened sticks.
Yes.
Oh, like fish.
No.
Yes, giant fish will be provided.
attendance required. Bring your children.
Yes,
So
it
it's-
says attendants and children required.
Interesting. Didn't this already happen? Isn't that what they said?
Yes, that is what you gathered from the previous night's conversation.
All right.
And to that point, you see that some guardsmen have entered the square from the what is that? The northeastern road, and they're coming over and plastering over the top of these older ones with newer ones. And you see, "Come one, come all, to the greatest celebration of the year, the Festival of the Blazing Sun. Attendants and children required. Rain or shine, all will be well." Signed the Baron.
How do they know that the sun is ablazing when they never see it?
Roll an intelligence check. And make you think. And I like dice.
Shit to the party, but alright, hold on.
Can I grab one of these wolf's head ones before they plaster over them?
Sure, yeah, they haven't quite made it around to you guys yet, so you can grab one from the side of it. So Squirrel, the primary deity that you have noticed so far is the Morning Lord, and all of his holy symbols have been like a blazing sun, so it might be something related to that.
Oh, so
Whether
that's
or not they're
religious
used to
stuff.
seeing the sun or not.
I wouldn't know
It's
that.
possible. Well, you would put two and two together. You wouldn't necessarily know that it's religious, but it would make sense as that's what it would be.
Gotcha. That was for the cleric.
You have
to,
no
like,
idea of its
be a smart
significance.
ass about it. Be like, it's their religion, dumbass. But she just bit her tongue and left me alone. Fair enough.
Does the wolf's head play into that at all?
For that part of it, that would need a religion check if you're going to try to put two and two together. Yeah. Of what you've known so far, no, there hasn't really been anything in like his, any of the churches, the church you've been to so far, that made you think that like wolves are a part of the Morning Lord. You did notice that there were, wolf hunters, and that there were wolf heads on pikes when you walked into town, but religious significance, not so much.
All right.
At least to your awareness.
Well, I'm going to. Anyone sort of loitering? People tending stalls, that type of thing.
So with the guards that actually came in and started placing these up, there's another humanoid, a human-looking guy, and of interest, he stopped all the way across the square from you, and he's staring at your group, and it looks like he's like staring through your group almost. Maybe even staring at the person that's at the back of your group.
Who's at the back of our group?
Arena and Ismark.
Oh.
And he hasn't moved or anything, but he's just like stopping and like staring, like he's, I don't know, almost like he's seen a ghost maybe.
All right. Well, I will. I'll walk over to him. He's the nearest person to me, right?
No, not from you guys. Are there the people that are in the stocks, which is the direction you guys walked in from, and then there's some of the commoners at the fountain still that would be closer to you.
Well, in that case, I'm gonna head over to the fountain.
Okay. There's just run-in stock commoners here.
All right. I'm gonna try and find the chattiest of the commoners and strike up a conversation.
Strike a pose.
I
Alright.
did too.
I'm
What is this
still
conversation?
watching for any thieves' cant going on, especially since we're in town square.
All right. Nothing. No one looks that shady. Slim or otherwise.
I just gotta wait for him to stand up.
Possibly.
Although you might have to ask.
Or good job, guys.
We got it.
Always count on you for that one. Anyway. All right. So, what exactly you're trying to strike up here in terms of conversation?
Just sort of little bit of chit chat, a little small talk about the weather and whatnot, and then I'm gonna bring the conversation around to the festival of the Wolf's Head.
Everyone's kind of just like looking at you with like this odd, like. Eventually, this kid walks up and he's, "Mister, what are you?"
I
The same
am
thing.
Short.
Overzealous.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm sure he
paragon
hasn't
of virtue.
seen one like me before. I'm a paladin, son.
And he turns around and tugs on his mom's skirts and goes, "Mama, what's a paladin?"
Uh-oh.
And she just like the color drains from her face, and she's just like, "No, they're And she
I'm gonna strike a pose.
shoots skirt kind of this like evil, like not evil, but like concerned and maybe like angry, like, "How dare you tell my son about the birds and the bees? Look, they're travelers that were just leaving."
Yes, just leaving. I will disengage from my conversation and step to the next closest group of commoners and engage them in conversation.
Okay, same thing.
Yep.
All right. You get one that's not as prickly as the rest, and he's just like, it's a festival where basically they rally up some wolves and cut off their heads and put them on pikes and parade them around town. It's the burgomeister's idea of a good time and trying to get morale up in town.
Why wolves of
Okay.
all things to kill him?
Had a similar feast in the Riverlands of my home.
The question asked, he's just like, have you been outside the walls? There are wolves everywhere. They're dangerous.
We
So
were
is
just
it-
outside the walls.
Is
They
it
walk
just-
upright as
wolves.
men. He's like, there. He just looks at you, kind of like almost like.
I have not seen any of these, walking wolves that you claim.
He looks at both of you like you guys are like with pity, like you guys are crazy. And he's like, he shakes his head. Poor things, gone mad from all the wolves. They must have the fever, the wolf fever.
All the wolves.
I must need more cowbell.
You just need to start dancing with them.
Yeah. Damn it, rap.
Guy probably cried wolf too many times. That's why he sees him standing up.
They're big and
Mhm.
bad too.
Like
Yep,
to blow houses
they are.
down.
Great.
All
That's
right.
the next thing you guys are gonna find is a red cloak. Keep it up.
Well, I can respect wolves. Like even men in wolf's clothing, like that.
Isn't that a sheep in wolf's? No, other way around.
Don't
Wolf in
worry
sheep's
about
clothing. Anyway,
A sheep in wolf's clothing. Do I notice anybody else eyeing us? There was that one gentleman that Script saw.
yep. And he's kind of been like slowly like making like a large circle around the outside of the town square to get closer while maintaining his distance from those of you that have gone to the center of town.
Is he trying to be? Is he like watching us and trying to be super subtle about it?
Yeah, and he's also like he hasn't taken his eyes off of Arena and Ismark either.
Hmm. I'll since I think I've been kind of hanging back with them, I will kind of lean over or like walk next to Arena, and kind of softly say to her, "I think there's somebody watching us. Don't be alarmed. But I think does that man over there seem familiar? Just a glance."
She like upon you saying that, like her hand goes to her hilt, and she
Easy.
tries her best to look up and not make eye contact, and she's like, no, he's not. She's like, what's with his grotesque hand?
What is with his grotesque hand?
Does that perk my
He-
ears up at all?
I feel like you're far enough away, probably you didn't hear that, because they're trying to be hush hush about the whole thing. But okay, I know the thing that I'm looking for in this book, and I swear I can't find it. Anyway, I know basically how it works, so it's fine. Anyway, the hand is very. Think Hellboy, and if like a regular like human man had Hellboy's just one arm, like his red right hand.
Yeah.
But basically that, like the rest of him is completely normal, but he has this massive demonic looking red hand.
That is peculiar.
She kind of like lowers her voice. She's like, he's continuing to watch us. Should we be
Okay.
concerned?
Cautious, maybe.
She's like, okay. And then she's like, I'm going to maybe pretend like I'm walking over here. And she kind of pulls her brother along, and she starts moving in the opposite direction of him.
I think I'll probably loiter a little bit so I can try to do my best to keep an eye on both the dude, the demon hand man, and the
Demon hand man.
demon hand man, and the siblings.
All right. Zeb, I have a very important question for you.
Yes, sir.
What is your passive perception score?
Perception, passive.
Is static. Very well.
I said 13. You didn't hear me?
Okay. No, I didn't
No.
hear it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Cut
No,
out.
I answered. 13.
All right. It's just Gideon. What is yours?
Also 13.
Okay. Cool.
That's not worrying at all.
Nah, no big
The
deal.
DM says cool.
The guards continue in their replacing of the wolf things that say things on them. Sorry, word escapes me presently. Notices, shall we say,
Do these
with the
wolves'
ones
heads
of the
mounted
blazing
look
sun.
any different than standard wolves' heads?
They do not. They there's a couple that are actually quite large, but other than that, they all look like wolf heads.
So there's nothing to lead me to believe that these wolves are walking around on two legs like this crazy person said in Town Square.
Nah, you have no reason to believe that at present.
Living on the streets, I know anything about werewolves.
With hoofs.
Woofs.
Hoofs.
Wolves.
Hoofs.
Woofs.
Hoofs. So you're just asking random people if they know anything about wolves?
I'm not. No, I was just looking at the
Okay.
thing.
Do you know anything about wolves?
No.
Have you heard about the wolves today? Have you heard about the old
I
guys
just
today?
decided to take another look at the ones that are mounted on the. If I walk by them to evaluate, do I think she has any validity to her story, or she's just crazy?
Yeah, I mean they're wolves. I mean the big ones would be definitely scary enough you wouldn't want to screw with.
Right, but dire wolf-esque. They're not like this is a really weird wolf head that might be attached to a humanoid body.
Yeah, there's no bodies attached in general, so I mean it's hard to determine if that's the case or not. But they're wolf heads of varying sizes.
Gotcha.
I feel like the passive perception should be more obvious, like as a stat on your guys' sheets, which is why I was asking.
It is. It's on the skills, and you look on the right. Where's this PASS?
Where's his pass?
Jeff, are you flipping through my character sheet?
Yes.
Okay, that's super weird because I have it open and it's just like
I am
I
in
thought I saw something
control.
moving on that screen. I just
He's assuming
I-
control.
yeah, it's the blue column.
Assuming direct control.
I should play that again.
I know this hurts you, Shepard.
I can't ping, otherwise I.
Are you on the wrong? No, I found it. I found it now, so we're good. I'm just blind. It's fine.
10.
Yeah, I found yours. Yours was the one I found it on. Just checking. No reason. So now that you guys have checked out the town square, yeah.
There's still stockades to investigate.
So there is. So there is. What will you investigate in these stockades?
Tell me more about. Just walk
There
over
are
and give a look around.
there are clearly 3 men, 2 women, and 2 boys in the stockades. All of them look exhausted, wet, and like they've been there far too long. They have these kind of like plaster mask pseudo helmet things that look like donkeys. The stocks are secured with an iron padlock.
Okay. Any of them look more conscious than the other one?
One of the men does. The boys are definitely like they're basically hanging by their wrists. The stockades aren't necessarily built for children or teenagers per se.
You there, good sir? What are you doing here?
He says, "What? What?" And he's kind of like acts like he's a little bit more delirious than you might have thought. And he looks up and says, "Are you insane? They're standing right there." He says, "Go away before you end up in here too."
Huh? You know, I can respect the law of the land. I'll leave it be.
Okay.
I didn't know I
Uh,
was supposed to talk.
your approach to the stockades appears to have gained the notice of the guard, and they have started to approach.
I'll wave sheepishly at them as I like my bad. You know, didn't know I was supposed to be over there, or wasn't supposed to be, and then I'll sort of wander back towards the rest of the group.
Okay. Then what? Because of how the roads here work, you can head out from N8 to the northeast. You can also go to the southwest or back to the northwest from whence you came in terms of directionality.
All right. This looks like houses, yes?
Yeah. So you can follow that around. You'd come out kind of on the other side of the toy shop and south of the inn. There is a larger looking building you can kind of see through the clearing of the houses, but you'd have to be closer to actually know what that is.
What's going on over here?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
From your current position, it looks like there might be like some wagons or maybe things used to like haul timber around over there. Again, you'd have to take a quick jaunt over there to actually see what's going on. And it's also back near the town gates as well.
Sounds good to me. Anybody else?
Bueller.
Bueller?
All right, decision
That's
made.
fine. Yeah.
All right, you head to area N5, which is the stockyards. As you approach, you see that there are several lock sheds along the periphery and a roomy warehouse. The wooden sign hangs in front of a gate that says the Arisk Stockyard. As you walk into the stockyard and make a giant green
Golf club.
loop-de-loop, you see that there is a colorfully painted wagon kind of parked off to the southwest.
Stockyard, Cutler, Wag.
So N6, it's the larger looking brownish, reddish square yonder.
And six.
See.
Oh, got it. Okay. All right.
The side of which says Rictavio's Carnival of Wonders. There's
Yeah.
also a very heavy padlock on the back door of it.
Interesting. Does it look like it's closed?
It is definitely closed. There's chains running across it, though it has some small windows with iron bars that you could, if you got close enough to kind of climb up on there's a sort of like lip, like a step almost, in front of the doors. You could probably see if there's anything inside of it, if you were so desired.
Any sign of Rictavio around?
Just cruising around in the stockyard area, no.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Well, let's. Anything going on in the stockyard?
No, not really. You note that the general store is here. So if you needed supplies, this is probably the best place to find it. But otherwise, it's a pretty quiet area.
Okay. Well, let's go check out the giant wagon.
All right, the giant wagon, again colorfully painted. It has kind of this reddish color canopy on it. It's painted various colors of green and blue with the letters that say Rictavia's Carnival of Wonders in a bright yellow. As you get closer, you see that the frame to the door on the wagon, has some kind of inscription that says, "I bring you from shadow into light," in quotes. And that is when the wagon suddenly lurches.
Wait, hang on. Okay. Okay. I was on guard here.
It's it has a kind of the old school wagon version of shocks, but it lurches enough where it looks like maybe something on the inside hit one of the walls very suddenly, and so like the whole thing kind of went up on two wheels and then settled back down, and eventually it shakes a little bit until it settles, and you hear cracking wood and what sounds like maybe claws or something scraping against metal, and then a snarl.
Oh,
That's no bueno.
does it look like the whole wagon is supposed to be some sort of cage?
Given now that you're closer to it and you see like the higher up barred iron windows and the fact that the door is chained on the outside, it's not a far leap.
Okay.
We should modify my wagon to look like this.
So that we can keep Skirp from trying to rescue things?
Yes. You read my mind, Gideon.
Release the paladin! Evil's afoot.
I would love to have a little wagon with Skirp inside of it, and he's just like banging the crap out of it whenever we have to fight a bad guy.
You guys just have him like Hannibal Lectered on the inside.
Yeah, we're just bring him forth.
Like two of you have like these long like iron bars that are chained to his straitjacket as you lead him out.
He's like going rabid, kind of like snapping at the air.
You know that scene in Ace Ventura, like Ace Ventura 2, when the big guy walks up with like the backpack on,
Yeah.
and he turns
Yeah.
around and sets it down and like opens it up and carefully runs away, and that little guy steps out of it. It's like that.
Yes. Yes. We need to give him a backpack.
He just
Why
filled
does
the backpack full
backpacks
of
keep coming
hands.
up in this game? It's funny. Once you guys finish this, perhaps I will tell you stories of the other group who have now finished this campaign. It's interesting.
Successfully or TPK'd?
Why not?
Sure, I'll
both?
give you hope. It makes it easier to take it from you. Yeah, they did it successfully.
Wow. How many sessions?
It was about I think 9 months.
Of every
so-
of playing every week though, right?
We've
Mostly we're a little more on the progression oriented than that group is.
we've only got 4 years left.
And
Yeah.
in addition to that, we have large swaths of time when we don't meet because of holidays and vacations and stuff. So I could see this ending in a similar time frame.
TPK
Not
style.
successfully, he doesn't say.
Yeah, right.
I said nothing.
That's on us.
Hey, look, giant wagon. Weird.
All right.
Shiny.
So did you say there's the door
Yes,
that has the writing around the frame?
the frame. Yes.
Is there another window that I could access?
There is one on the opposite side of the wagon. It would be harder to reach because there's not a step.
All right.
What he has a
I'm gonna
child
try and
for.
reach that one. Yeah, that's
Oh, where is that kid?
They're just,
My
until you
inventory.
guys say otherwise, they're just kind of following you around.
Kilt. Yeah, I'm gonna pull Kilt out of the backpack and dust him off. Maybe boost
Ah.
Kilt.
You're making Kilt give you a boost.
Yes.
Yep. He's big. I can just see now. Kilt gets down on his hands and knees and stands under there, and Skirp
Aren't
just
you in like half plate?
jumps on his
Yeah.
back.
You have like this scrawny like waif of a boy like lifting up this goblin in full armor.
Small half plate, right?
Yeah, it's still heavy.
That's true.
Pound is still a
I-
pound, even if it's in goblin
If
pounds.
we ever have to disguise you as another race, we're gonna have Kilt right around on your shoulders with a trench coat on.
The trench coat.
Yes. A goblin and a orphan in a trench coat.
Sounds like
Guy
prison
makes his
time.
insight check. Is that an orphan and a goblin in a trench coat? Another guy drinking next to him. Nah.
Don't be ridiculous.
That's one of the concept characters I want to play in like a one-off game. Is just 2 gnomes.
In a trench coat.
Yeah.
That's like Sir Barrington territory.
Right.
All right. You lift up, and as you do, this tiger leaps and hits the front of the wagon that you're looking through, and knocks you and Kilt onto your butts.
Do I land on
Um,
Kilt?
Slightly, yeah.
Good.
And he's just kind of like, sir, Skirt, I think you might have broken my leg. He's very calm about the whole situation.
Man.
That's Talia's
Before you-
territory.
Before you were,
Hey, he's got lay
so
on hands.
rudely tripped from this, you did note that there is apparently a tiger inside of this, and that the tiger is wearing armor.
Oh shit.
Like it looks like it's wearing
Badass.
like proper barding, like well-fitted barding for a tiger.
We gotta become friends with this guy. He's got an
Wait.
armored tiger.
How do you know it's a guy?
Rictavio? The
Dang.
guy that point like the guy's
He's
name and
the
big
guy
letters
with-
on the side of the wagon.
That could be a last name.
He introduced himself.
Apparently, Zeb drank more that night than we thought he did.
I
Apparently.
met him. I told you about him. He has good stories and a monkey. And now apparently an armored tiger.
What you don't know is that the monkey's name is not just a name. He's actually Piccolo. He will use destructive wave as he sees fit. Not really.
Kamehameha?
Or what was the laser one with the forehead thing? Anyway,
Final beam cannon.
thank you.
Got you.
Thank you. So yeah, there's some mystery there. There's this, Brictavio's wagon's just got a tiger chilling inside of it because reasons.
Maybe he uses it in shows.
I mean, he did introduce himself as a ringmaster, so I mean, it's not. Maybe it's not that weird after all.
Don't circuses usually have more than one wagon though?
I don't know. How are the goblin kind in their circuses?
Well,
Do they have multiple rings, or do they one? Do they use squares instead of rings?
you know, like
Octagons.
it's more pits, and they don't really use wagons, right? They kind of carry things from place to place. But
So-
I've heard about, yeah, Torchy
God damn it.
going on an adventure over there.
I feel like every map from here on, you should try to hide Torchy somewhere.
Where's Torchy? All right, well that's a thing now. Fun thing
well-
is that I can hide him in different layers and then bring him
Oh,
out.
you
if like
monster.
it.
While we're in the stockyard area, I'm going to look for somebody who isn't too busy and ask them to direct me to the nearest church.
All right. The nearest person would actually be the proprietors of the general store.
General store.
They do tell you that there is a church, and they tell you that it is a cathedral. Or is it just a church? It's just a church. It is Saint Andrew's Church, and they tell you that it is on the opposite side of town, and that will be N1 on your program.
Mm. I will mention to Squirrel and Gideon that this might be a good place if we needed to flip some of the finer things we found. But I intend to head towards the church.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Might I ask for a quick break just to grab some water?
No.
Fine. You all take 10d 100 damage. Campaign over. I'm going to get water.
Wouldn't be the first time.
I roll all ones. Still 100 damage.
Oh, that might have been a mistake.
Uh-oh. Oh, shit.
Wow.
10 D100 damage.
Wow.
I
You
rolled
actually
below
rolled
the
100.
average.
You actually rolled really well, except for that 24. But
Why did it roll 2?
17.
Oh, it's probably... Wait.
Did you roll with advantage? No, D100 is 2 dice,
There's 20... Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
unless you have a 100-side die.
I don't know why Discord wouldn't... I mean, Roll20 wouldn't.
apparently they make a D37 or D64. One of the players at my other game just busted out. I was like, why would you need a D64? It makes no sense.
How big is it?
It's like the size of like a smaller tennis ball.
That's
Yeah.
what she... Wait.
Anyway, I'm gonna go grab water real quick. I only need like 2 minutes. So
Yeah, same here.
He actually replaced it with just a still image a long time ago.
yeah, right.
Looney
A still
Tunes
image.
shit right there.
Yeah, occasionally changes.
So far every week you've had a different like flashcard puppet thing to show us, Skirp. I was kind of looking forward to this week's or this month's.
I'll see what I can do by the end of the session.
How many subs are you up to?
I started this month with 19, but a lot of my Prime people have fallen off, so I don't know what I'm at right now. Subs and chat will give you the answer though.
Yeah, it says I can send you a screenshot, but I am still subscribed as of this moment. So
Yeah, you are.
haven't had a chance to
I see
resub
the
yet.
purple diamond.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't been around a lot because it physically hurts me to sit at my computer desk.
Sounds shitty.
I think my sub comes up in like 4 days, 4 or 5 days, I think. So
Whatever I did to my wrists just gets worse every time I sit at my desk, so I've been just reading and playing some PS4 in my living room. Uh-oh, network error.
no.
Twitch just died.
Did it?
I'm back up to
For
60.
me.
This week has been so up and down. This week on Monday I started with 19 subs, and then yesterday or Tuesday when I logged off I was down to 13, and then tonight I'm at 16. So it's still September though. Until October 18th, your first month subscription is half off, and I get all of it.
Nice. I don't know what that means for Twitch subs, but
Did you hear that, chat?
good for you.
Anybody that's not subbed should be subbing now because it's half off, and I get all your monies, and you get all the perks for GatherBot. There's the 3 tiers, so instead of paying the $5 for tier 1, you'd only pay $2.50. or $5 for the $10 version, or $12.50 for the $25.
All right.
All
I
right,
believe
so
believe we're all here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. back to business, gentlemen.
Are we dead?
Yes,
Oh,
as
hang on.
determined by the D100s.
Well, continue, but I'll be back in a second.
And your ears still work, Notoria? Was that a question that you couldn't hear, or a little confused?
She's both here and hears.
Ears and hear? Is she here and hearing?
Yes.
What we need to do is find like a local historian or something to question about the hints we were given through the cards.
You want an oracle? Do we have
Well,
any
no,
party treasury? Do we actually want to part with?
do we even have a party treasury?
We're keeping it.
I mean,
Yes, I knew.
Well, it's just a list of items. We haven't found any money yet.
Yeah, I was asking if like I know we picked up a bunch of random odds and ends like journals and
We traded in
other things. If we
one or
wanted
two
to
of
sell
the
anything else
journals.
off for monies now.
I can link you guys to the party loot list again if you want.
Yes. So unless you guys have some specific thing in there, we should
Yeah.
keep moving along to whatever it is you desire. Um,
I'm just
Okay,
keeping
so-
an eye out for street life, seeing if there's anything we can glean from the underground whenever I find it.
So Tally said towards the church, yes?
To the church.
To the church.
Hmm.
Dice option.
Sounds good.
All right. So on your way to the church, the rest of you are just kind of taking in the sights of good old Valaki here. You pass back through. You'll pass near the toy shop again, the Blue Water Inn, and continue along that road to N1, which is St. Andrew's Church. It is very much in the same appearance as the church in Barovia was. The steeple is lined with cracks. The stained glass windows are probably one of the better pieces in better repair of this, and they depict saints in prayer and other pious acts. There is a fence of wrought iron enclosing a garden of gravestones next to it. As ever present is the mist that kind of clings to the ground.
I'd like to go in.
All right, you may enter the church. In the church, you see that there is the father here, kind of overseeing the parishioners. There are a fair number of commoners in here right now praying. The chapel is clearly dedicated to the Morning Lord. You see familiar sunburst iconography all over the place. And he approaches and says, hello, come in, well met. Come in. It's not often I see new faces in these parts. And to Tally in particular, he looks and says, and perhaps a woman of the cloth as well? You have a certain look about you that your friends do not.
What gave it away? And I
think it's the
gesture and I.
boobs.
Sorry.
Wow.
If that's in character, Tally will slap the fuck out of you.
Go for it. I will put a
Clap.
shield up as soon as you
Do I-
slew it.
I don't give a shit.
Go for it.
Divine might.
Oh god.
Because yes,
And,
Squirrel would definitely say that in character. Without a doubt.
Well, that one tips his hand pretty quickly. But
Yeah.
I sort of I pulled a necklace I have of the as a holy symbol of Salune and present it. and say, "You do have good eyes, fellow priest."
Says, I don't recognize that symbol. It appears to be the moon, but you'll forgive me. I worship during the daylight. Says, but you don't seem to be a creature of the night. I mean, you clearly walked in here of your own regard. You must be from a far off land, perhaps. I'm not familiar with this symbol.
You have the right of it. We've been sort of trapped. We're new travelers to this area of Barovia. I think that all of us come from different backgrounds. I serve the goddess Selune, and as your Lathander watches over the day, Frishi watches over the night.
Well, I could tell you that it would be nice to have a friendly face to watch over the night, because I can tell you that the nights in these lands are anything but restful. As you may know if you've spent any amount of time here as of yet.
We've learned, unfortunately.
He just says, but still, it is currently daylight, and my lord rules then. So there's no need to fear. Please come in, sit. Tell me, what brings you to my church?
I think mostly we come seeking information. I think we are new to town, trying to get the lay of the land and understand who's trustworthy and places we should stay away from.
Also,
Says-
opportunities for heroism.
And he, kind of for the first time takes notice of you, or at least, more notice of you. And is, you. Do you have your holy symbol present
I
at all?
certainly do.
It's like, I assume that is some mark of faith, though I must say I do not recognize it either, though it is not as apparent as if you'll forgive my saying, a holy symbol.
It's yeah, it doesn't look like much of a holy, but it will one day when I complete it.
Says, so you are on a journey of faith then. He says, I can appreciate that. He says, it's not often that other faiths are here, so this is indeed perhaps a good sign of things to come. And I would definitely say that you are welcome within these walls should you need anything. Friends are few and far between. He says, I'd love to discuss your theology and beliefs with you if you have the time.
That would be aimed at the more theologic of us.
He says, well, that's good. That's good. So anyway, let me I'll get back to my previous question. You said you're here for acts of heroism. Like, what exactly do you have in mind with this?
General righting of wrongs, and doing a good deed.
He starts laughing. He says, well, there are no towers nor damsels to rescue from them in these lands, I'm afraid. But there are certainly misdeeds throughout the land that could always use championing. So it's, again, it is good to know that perhaps I am not alone in my faith, even if we share different gods. To Squirrel and Gideon is, and are you two also of some other church? Perhaps a band of holy men traveling together for protection?
Gideon smirks and mutters something like that.
Says,
I just nod.
Says, I have heard of other religions that practice more martial beliefs. Perhaps you're of them. Again, we can discuss your beliefs in time. He's generally he's a pretty happy guy, and he's also quite like, if you're, I may have a cause for you to champion. sir, and he looks at Skirp. He's like, I'm sorry, I don't think I quite got your name.
Sir, I like down to that. Puff up my goblin chest. Sir Skirp.
Sir
Also-
Skirp.
With his own herald kilt.
That's right.
And top hat.
Herald, the kilt should have been on that. Introducing him.
Kilt is his squire, right?
I guess he is now. He has
On script.
he has neither banner nor any kind of trumpet with which to announce. So you guys might have to look into that at later juncture.
Yes.
He says, "Well, Sir Skirp, I am Father Lucian Petrovich, and as you may guess, this is my church. It is named for Saint Andrel, who overlooks it." And he says that would bring me to perhaps your heroic deed, if you would do us the honor. He says, "This way, please," and he leads you guys kind of to one of the. If you remember the previous church, there are these 4 kind of side rooms outside of the main chapel, and he leads you to an office one set up as an office.
Mm.
And so, as I mentioned, Saint Andrel watches over this church, and he does. It's a proven fact. The unholy terrors that strike the night are unable to assault us here. For whatever reason, the bones of Saint Andrel have hallowed these lands, these grounds of my church, and so it is a safe harbor in the night. However, a few nights ago, someone broke into the crypt where Saint Andrel's bones are kept, and I fear that if they are not returned, that the wards will be broken, or worse, they are no longer functioning at all. Fortunately, we have not had cause to test them in these last few nights, but I would be remiss to give anything the opportunity to do so. I suspect I know who has them. There are very few people that know about the secret here, and I don't know why he would take them, and it concerns me that he would do so. But if you may, perhaps you could quietly broach the subject with the lad, and see if perhaps he knows anything about what happened.
Certainly we will track down your holy relics.
That would be great. So I suspect that there's this young lad in town, and he has a heart, which is to say that it's better than most people here. He's young yet, so I don't know which way his temperament will go, but he is quite temperamental to that point, and I fear that perhaps he might have learned of the bones from his friend, who I confided in about them originally. You may want to be careful in bringing the topic up with him, because I don't know what he would do with the bones. I fear that they would be destroyed. The young man who I fear has taken them is named Milivoj. His friend Yeska is the one that I actually talked to about this originally. And while I trust Yiska, Milivoj is yet to be proven in my eyes. So if you could do me this task, and if nothing else, at least figure out where the bones are, if not retrieve them, you would be doing me a grave favor, and I would do whatever I could to repay it.
Hard to pretend to be not disappointed that our great heroic mission is going to talk to some punk teenagers. But
Is this
You know?
is this disappointment very? Is it obvious?
Yeah, you know what? I'm tough and I'm trying to, keep a stiff upper lip about it.
Okay. He won't notice any change in your appearance then. Says, I honestly don't know where the boy is right now. I'm sure he's about town somewhere. It's possible that he's just out in town doing whatever it is young boys do these days. You might check the inn. You may even check the toy shop. That's while that place is certainly interesting. I would not. I wouldn't put it past him to be there.
Okay. Yeah, we'll hunt him down, make him pay.
He says, "No, don't take any violence with the boy. I'd rather he was unharmed. If the bones are returned, that is all I ask."
Hunt him down, gentle talk.
That would be preferable. He says, "But while you're here, is there anything I can? You are doing me quite the favor here. Is there anything I might assist you with before you leave? Are any of you in need of healing or blessings? I can do my best to help with those in the meantime."
I'm good. Others?
How familiar? I asked him if he is familiar with anybody that knows how to deal with dark magics in terms of repelling and reversing any effects they have.
Says, "Well, I mean, bones returned, certainly be safe from any ill magics here. However, I've heard that the Abbey of Kresk, that the abbot has some magical power of his own, but I don't claim to know exactly what that is. Just that he keeps his abbey in type shape, from what I'm told. And is to be quite a holy man. But unfortunately, the roads in such a state as they are, we've never met."
How far is Kresk from here?
Kresk is quite a journey. It's not something I would undertake lightly. Which is to say the DM doesn't know offhand, and we'll get back to you.
Do you think perhaps this abbot, there's an acquaintance of ours that has had a run-in with some creatures of the night. They appear to be fine, but there was an affliction caused by it. Do you think this abbot would be somebody who would know a way to reverse it? Or undo it?
Possibly. What kind of affliction are we here?
Well, I let out a sigh and sort of just lower my voice. So way hopefully only he can hear it. Say vampirism.
Oh, and he just kind of is like, "Oh, that's quite severe." And says, they've not turned yet though?
No.
It is about a 10-mile haul to Kresk from here.
How fast do we usually go in a day?
I'd have to look up overland travel.
Okay.
8 miles, I think, in a day.
So it'd be
Maybe
like
6.
2 days, day and a half.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beat me to it, Killeth, GG.
I'm sure one of you can find it. Did you just overland travel in Avray or whatever it's called?
Oh no, we're talking about Twitch chat.
Okay. Sorry. Rap. What was that last bit?
I think you asked if they had turned, and I said no.
Right. Says very, very good. Well, I mean, I can certainly. Are they among you? And he looks at Squirrel and Gideon in particular. Like, is it one of them?
No.
Rap.
Just for reference, do we Did Ismark and Arena come with us, or are they doing their own thing
Yeah,
still?
they're with you guys unless you guys leave them somewhere.
Hmm. Uh, I'll just respond with, I hope you forgive me. I'd rather not answer that question. You know, discretion, better side of valor, all that.
He says, no, I
It's
understand. If
a
it's
sensitive
one of your
subject.
party in these lands, it is sensitive, though I will hope that your discretion does not bring any doom down upon the town. Just let me put that out there. These lands are dangerous enough as is. The last thing we need is a vampire free in these within the walls.
I don't think you have to worry. And I gesture to the rest of the group and say, I think we'll have it under control.
So it's 24 miles a day, assuming about 8 hours of travel a day.
Okay, so that's pretty damn good then. Assuming that's straight travel, no encounters, no
Yeah.
detours. Okay.
No DM fuckery.
Indeed. No one would ever
Oh,
do
wait,
that.
hold on. I might be wrong here. No, that's right. 24 miles, 3 miles an hour or so.
Okay, that's not too bad. So you guys could totally do that in a day.
Mm-hmm.
However, in listening to all this, Arena just basically she can't contain herself. Like you can see like guilt written on her face, and she's just like, no. And she approaches the father and goes down to her knees and
God damn it.
pulls down the scarf she's holding over her neck, and she says, forgive me for bringing this to your doorstep, Father, but it is I that he has bitten. And he very quickly leans down and says a word for her, prays with her, and then as he stands up, he pulls the scarf back up over her wound, and he's very that you are here and that you have prostrated yourself, so says that you are still of sound of heart and do not mean ill of our people. Your friends are able to bring back the bones of Saint Andrel as I have asked, and there will be no ill harm done. I will even keep you here to watch over you if that is what you desire, for none should be able to harm you once the bones are returned.
Before we go, Father, I do have two other questions, and one has to deal with a man we saw out in the market, or near the stocks, rather. He seemed to have what could really only be described as the arm of a demon. Does this man sound familiar to you?
Ah, Ezek. Refer to Ezek. He is if you'll forgive the saying, the right hand of the Burgomeister, and does the Burgomeister's will.
What is wrong with having arms of demons? As Squirrel looks at his hands.
Yeah.
He says, you, and he kind of chooses his words carefully. You are of your parents' making. He is of something else. He was not born that way. That is a gift of darkness laid upon him.
I forget, was it one arm or was it both arms of his?
One arm, just the right hand.
Okay. Is he somebody we should be aware of, or be wary of, rather?
He says, I would not get on his poor side. He's been known to bouts of, shall we say, madness. He keeps an account of sorts at the toy store. And none know the reason, but he continually has dolls created for him by the toy master. It's an odd thing.
Shit.
You may ask the toy master himself. I cannot speak to it, and it may be some clue as to further reason to stay away from the gentleman. But I would steer clear of him if at all possible.
Sounds wise. And what of this festival of the Blazing Sun? I'm imagining you and your people have quite the role to play in that.
He sighs heavily and shakes his head. He says, "No, no, no. Blazing Sun, though it might be called, it is not. It is not of the Morning Lord. It is not the Morning Lord's providence that from such a thing comes. It's the Burgomeister is. That is his idea, and it is his way of telling the people of Valaki that he is in control. There's safety within the walls, and that no bad things happen here. But the townspeople know, and we know that it's for show. He means well, but I think perhaps so many years of trying to fool the townspeople, he has only succeeded in himself."
Well, we appreciate the information.
He says, "Absolutely, and you are doing me the favor, so thank you. And as I said, you are most welcome here."
If there's nothing else, unless you guys have questions, I think I'm happy to move on.
Okay. Although
Yes.
the
Yes.
the dull comment kind of lit a small damsel rescuing fire in my heart. Rekindled the possibility for true heroism.
Because of the doll angle.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna try and move in that direction.
Okay.
We also need to check out the toy store as the likely location of our punk kids, right?
Likely location of what? Sorry.
Those punk kids.
That was one of the ideas, yes.
Cool. All right. You guys ready to roll?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I am.
Once we leave the church, may I suggest approaching the shady children in more of a fence manner rather than an authority figure saying "return the bones, grr, holier than thou" manner?
Why would you think we'd be holier than thou?
Because I've been with you for. I've been
I
stuck
feel like
with
that's
you
quite an
guys for
assumption.
like 3 days, give or take.
I think you're reading into your own thoughts on that one, man.
I've seen you spit holy fire at people. I'm holier than
Spit
thou.
Spit hot fire! Damn it! Damn it!
Good job, Rap. Glad we're on the same page, buddy.
Oh, just barely beat me. Dial on.
Quick, name 5 best raps. Dial on.
Tally enters a rap battle.
Yeah. I'm sure there's Dungeons and Dragons, which is the urban version.
with MC Dritz.
Yeah. It is Dungeons and Dragons.
Now I really want to see a bard who's a rapper.
No, that's a real rule set. It's a derivative of 3.5, I think.
Is it really?
Yeah.
My God.
I have to look it up.
Full conversion mod. Here we go. I tend to agree though.
Why did Steam just magically open itself? That was weird. All right.
I nod in agreement. Yeah, I think it makes sense. I don't think having two members of, well, I guess a church that two worshippers of gods that nobody here knows about, but anyway, may strike that kind of presence.
They may just think you guys are crazy if you're just like, everybody get down! Like you walk in the room, like flashing your holy symbols like they're badges or something. Everybody just laugh at you and go back to drinking. All right, so you guys are going to the toy shop then?
Yeah, unless anybody else has anything they wanted to check out in town.
I don't think so.
I've seen nothing to catch my eye quite yet. I will let you know if it does.
What was the name of this holy man again?
This is Father Lucian Petrovich. Lucian.
Isn't he from?
Papa Pete.
You're thinking Lucius, I think.
Yes, I am thinking Lucius. Good job. Pef is on it tonight.
Kind of. It's gonna hit my second win just in time to have to go to bed. Good figure.
Okay.
All right, so onward, N7 via N1 and N2. On the way there, Tally. Everybody else is, on like eyes forward, kind of looking for these kids. Someone's following you, and so far it seems like you're the only person that's noticed. They're doing the very bad Emperor's New Groove Kronk humming his own theme music stealth sequence trying to follow you version though. It's not terribly impressive, but despite that you're the only person that has taken notice.
What color? What? How would you describe their hands?
They are not red nor right.
Oh, okay.
Wait, they have two left hands?
Yes, he has two left hands. Bill Left Hand Ernst. No.
Parents really pigeonholed them with that name.
Yeah, he did. So you just see him kind of like, you see this guy just like occasionally kind of like walk out of a side street, follow you for a little bit, and then disappear down another side street, and then come back out again. Still, he's clearly tailing you guys.
Seem like an adult.
Yes, he is. He's definitely a grown man.
How far away? Like, how close has he gotten to us?
He's been keeping probably 50 feet or more behind you guys.
So I'll kind of. I guess I'm assuming I'm near the back since I think we want Swirl and Gideon maybe to lead the way on some of the negotiations when we get there. I'll kind of pick up my pace like just slightly and kind of in a low voice be like, "We do have somebody tailing us." And keep walking with the group.
I bring my tail a little closer so we can't actually.
It's funny because joke.
No, it makes a joke.
Okay, so are there any gaps? Not gaps, like corners we're going to be turning anytime soon, where they might lose sight of us for a moment.
The big turn kind of in between N2 and N7 is going to be the good one.
Is
the only other option.
Is N7 where
is
the inn?
It's the toy shop. N7. N2.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
We could lay a little ambush.
We could just let him follow us.
Yeah. I was wondering if it makes
some nosy townsman.
I was wondering if it makes sense for like one of us, like I don't mind it being myself or whoever, to peel off and like kind of head towards the inn. Like it seems like because like the inn and the toy shop are like we hit a T and left goes to the inn, right goes to the toy shop kind of thing.
Yeah, pretty much. The toy shop's kind of like mid-block, but the inn's on the corner.
I could illusionary have the party go one direction and we go the other, and he has to figure out which one's real.
I think the illusion you can cast is stationary only.
It does sound like a higher level spell slot, if nothing else.
Anything that moves is a higher level illusion than a cantrip. Otherwise, it would be the best cantrip in the game by so far.
Yeah. As long as everybody just doesn't like completely nail their insight checks or has true seeing.
I recognize I'm recommending to split the party, but I'm wondering if it makes sense for myself, maybe one other person, to just kind of like drop by the inn and just like kind of keep tabs on who goes the other way towards the toy shop to see if this person follows.
Well, Gideon's pretty good at stealth.
Hmm.
Could follow people.
Yeah, if you want to go for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are
I
gonna
know
try
what
to set up like a weird like split maneuver and double back on them.
See who they follow. If two of us go one way and two go the other.
Yeah.
Okay.
who watches the pictures.
Who
Well-
watches the watchman?
Who's good at questioning? Because they should go to the toy shop.
I'm good
I
at
like
questioning.
asking questions.
Who did it? Where are the rabbits?
All right.
Right.
So
Where
do
are
I
they?
do-
Where are the rabbits? Where's Rachel?
Wow.
Oh
Sorry.
wow.
But if we actually find the
So we're-
kids there, we don't want the holy ones there, right? Wasn't that the case?
Well, I think like Squirrel
Yeah,
and
as long as-
Scarab can. I think between the both of you, like I feel like that'd be fine. Like
As
I don't
long
think
as
us
you're
being
not,
holy.
you know,
There's not gonna be
pulling
people
all the
detecting
right
alignment
people.
and being like, "Oh my gosh, you guys worship a god? Holy shit!"
you
If they are, that's actually another good sign, I guess. But
could use a goblin to scare them.
just let them out of the bag. I don't know. So we're thinking like myself and Gideon will go north, and the rest of the party goes south. With do we think what are their names? Ismark and Arena go with you guys, or should they come with us to the?
Probably go to you guys to the inn.
Swear to me. Sorry,
You're having way too much fun with that.
I probably am. My voice is gonna be destroyed tomorrow.
Okay, that sounds fun to me.
Swear to me.
And
Doesn't
then
quite work
Gideon,
that
if you
well.
want to, whenever you feel comfortable, you can. You can start being super sneaky or whatever whenever you like.
Just point them out to Gideon as they go by. Or whoever it is.
Yeah, I'll. The next time I kind of see him dart, I'll try to describe him to Gideon a bit and like, kind of nod or something subtly.
All right.
Maneuver set. Attack pattern delta.
Attack pattern delta has been engaged. You see the gentleman kind of ouch, get clawed by his cat, and then sure my headset's still on. All right.
There you go.
Ouch. That's gonna leave a mark. Anyway, yes, Boo, thank you. He stops at the corner and like kind of tries to slink up against a building and watches, and then eventually chooses to follow the group that heads toward the toy shop.
Okay.
So the group that went to the inn, if you want to be stealthy in the following, you need to be stealthy in the following and make some rolls.
Which
Well, I
is
think
fine.
Gideon's gonna be
with
just fine at
Gideon.
that. I'm guessing myself and Arena and Ismark are not gonna be great at that.
Nope, I imagine they are not, and I should
So-
find the stats directly.
I'm wondering if it would make sense to maybe let Gideon go
Meh.
ahead
That's fine.
and for us to follow a little bit further behind.
All right. Gideon's stealth is what's this guy's stealth? Or what's his passive, I guess. Okay. Gideon, he doesn't notice you.
Cool. I just want to stay far enough behind to see if he's, following them all the way there. If he goes off to report to someone else, something like that.
All right. He follows them. You see the group enter the toy store, and he stops for a minute and kind of looks around, tries to be nonchalant, and continues walking south towards the town square. you would lose him in the town square after a while, just because of distance. Unless you're gonna stick with him.
Yeah, at least for a little while, just to see if there's something somewhere immediate that he goes. I can roll again if you need.
Yeah, I'm gonna need 2 more rolls. Basically, we're rolling at intersections. All right, so at N8, he takes a left and doubles backs towards the inn, and then at the inn, he actually heads north past the inn. And I'll need a check for that intersection as well.
Ooh, he is the
All right.
knight.
You are the knight. I am the knight.
Knight man.
Okay, he continues north and eventually stops at N4, which has just become active on your map. There is a massive mansion of sorts, and it's the house. If a house could be disgusted with itself, this house gives you that impression. It's a slouching roof hanging over these gables that almost appear to be like furrowed eyebrows, covered in moss that's sagging down, and it just looks like the roof is getting ready to collapse under kind of its own weight.
And he heads inside.
Yes, he does.
All right, that's far enough for me. I figure Gideon will head back to the inn to report, and then maybe get them all headed back to the toy shop.
All right. As you walk away from the house, one final stealth check.
Oh shit! It's all for this now.
Natty 1. Oh.
Slightly lower than my first one.
Okay. That is 10. That's what that is. You were able to return to the inn.
Okay. Gideon will report to the other 3, which is Arena, her brother, and Tali.
All right. Are you guys going to continue on to the toy shop? Or are you going to hang out and let the other 2 do the talking?
I figured we should all head there at least, just so that we're together.
At least head to the vicinity of it.
United and it's
Right?
good. All right. To the toy shop with ye, which is on one of these pages. There we go. All right. The party is reunited. The toy shop again has this, German Bavarian style, bee carving. The "is no fun, is no Blinsky" slogan in it. And you walk into this crowded, very, very creepy toy shop. It's better described as a curio shop than a toy shop. It is a curio shop masquerading as a toy shop. The toys are just terrifying. There's a headless doll that comes with a sack of different attachable heads. One of the heads on display for this doll has its eyes and mouth stitched shut. There's a miniature gallows that works, so you can go over and hit the little switch, and it's got a weight on it, and so it drops this little toy man through the gallows. There's a set of Merestrika dolls, the Russian nesting dolls, the innermost of which is a mummified, looks like a mummified corpse. There's a
This
wooden
is a
string
Gothic toy store.
like mobile that's got like little bats on it, so when you shake it up and down, it looks like the bat's wings are flapping. There's a wind-up merry-go-round. The figures on it look like wolves chasing children, so like they're chasing each other around in a circle. There is a dummy, a ventriloquist dummy, in the likeness of one Strahd von Zarovich. Very nicely dressed, pale gentleman, these kind of like overdone vampire fake teeth painted onto it. And finally, you notice that Arena has split off from the rest of the group and is standing in front of this shelf, and her mouth is just like agape in horror, because these the shelf is lined with dolls that look just like her. There are slight variations in each, but you can kind of see like a progression, and they're getting more and more lifelike and more looking like the real Arena. And she just like she looks at them, and after a while, like her trance breaks, and she looks at you guys, and you just like she has this like question in her face, like what's going on? Why are these here?
Is there anyone in the shop? Like,
There is there's this jovial-looking, heavy-set man sitting behind the counter, and after you guys have taken some time to kind of peruse the toys, getting to the descriptors I've gave you, he says, "Welcome to Blinsky's Toys." And he makes him a kind of a slight bow. He says, "I am Gadolf Blinsky, a wizard of tiny wonders." And he just he puts his arms out as if to display his store, his tiny wonders before him.
unused school wizardry to be sure, certain.
Who's it was what?
All right.
And he says, "So how can I help you?" Not you.
I'm still in shock about the doll. We're all in here, right?
Yes, the party has reunited.
Just
And
us.
Also in shock.
No youths.
There are no youths, streetwise or otherwise.
What do you do,
Utes.
fellow kids?
Street youths.
Utes.
Youths.
The Utes.
The youths.
All right. Well,
I seem to remember a certain plan to have somebody talk to this gentleman.
I thought we were looking for those kids, right? And he was theoretically going to be here.
Theoretically.
So I'll ask him about his inspiration on his toys, trying to like kind of probe for information on like why he would have dolls made after her. Just general conversation about the toys, while asking him in Thieves' Can about spell components, specifically bones required for certain spells.
Which certain spells?
I'm not naming spells that I'm working on. I'm looking for bones of importance, if he knows where I may find them. Asking that in Thieves' Can't, see if he responds, while asking him about inspiration for general conversation of all his toys and where he, how long has he been a toy maker, etc. So general conversation about the toys while asking in Thieves' Can't about where to buy these, where I could get my hands on, spiritual bones for some spells I'm working on.
All right. So he actually does respond to your Thieves' Cant. Like he smells what you're stepping in, and his response is like it's not. He's not dodging your questions, but it's like he's kind of confused. He's like, no, like I can tell you where to get bones, but I don't know about those kind of bones. Like they're just bones.
Okay. Well, I mean, he basically doesn't know where those are at. I'll just tell him to keep an eye out or an ear out if he hears of anything of that sort. So that way, because I've still been looking, that's why I'm here.
He says, yeah, he gives you kind of the affirmative, like, yeah, of course. And he, if you need bones, like just regular bones, you can go to the coffee maker shop.
Coffee maker
like
shop.
Okay. That's not a big deal. Like,
right. No, but I'm looking for some that might have spiritual weight to them, so that way I can add oomph to my planned spells. And then during the general conversation, do we get anything about inspiration on why he would have mimicked copies of one of our companions?
He, during the conversation, he's like, one of your companions, and he looks at Arena and he says, oh, like, oh, it's like, that's, I just always thought it was a figment of his imagination. It's you. And he's like, I am a wizard of tiny wonders. Look at that. I'm quite proud of those. And he just kind of puffs up his chest for a minute. He's like, it's a damn good doll. You see that? Look at the curves of her chin and her neck, and that on the doll. It's almost perfect. And he's getting like he's starting to walk around the side of the bar, and he's getting a little too close and a little too like creepy near Arena. And he's like, but and at this point, Ismark kind of starts stepping in between them. He snaps at him. He's like, that Ismark, that the one with the hand. He's commissioned those. That well, basically, he threatens to burn down my establishment if I refuse to make them for him.
Izak? Just
Yes.
to be clear? Okay. Because his mark's right there.
Oh, did I say Ismark? Sorry.
I think so, but I might have
My
misheard.
Red right hand man.
And so he provides you descriptions of what to build? Or
Yeah,
a
and
picture, or...
He has been since he was a teenager.
I pull out the Gertrude's doll and present it and say, I believe you've made this, right?
And he picks it up and examines. He's like, ah, it's fine work. Look at this, the stitching. Imagine how long this has survived playing. And barely any wear on it too, even despite the fact it looks just utterly haggard. Like super, super haggard.
Do you know who was the inspiration for this doll?
He says, no, this is just a doll. Made one of these. There may even be one similar to it in the shelf or maybe in the back. But no inspiration for these. And just dolls I made for the children of the villages.
Villages. You travel and sell your wares?
He's like, oh, no. Have you been on the roads? They're far too dangerous. Occasionally the Vistani come through, and I'll do some trading with them. And I've been made aware that my crafts make it to the other villages. So it's a matter of pride. I make sure that they're good and strong when they leave, so that they survive for a long time, like this toy. And he goes back to examining like the seams and stuff on the doll.
How often does Izek come with requests?
He's like, not every day, but maybe once a month or so. Sometimes more, sometimes less. Not really sure what he's accomplishing. Like the good ones he takes with him, and then the poor ones stay here, and I attempt to sell them.
Is there any more copies of her?
Of the doll?
Of our companion, yeah. You said there's a row of them. So are all of the ones that he's made of her here, or did he take the best one?
He's like, oh no, he's taken probably several hundred by now.
Of her?
Like I said, of her. It's like I don't know what he does with them, and I don't ask because, like I said, he keeps threatening to burn my establishment down.
That's a good reason.
Can I do an insight check to see if he's telling us the truth about the threats?
Absolutely. He is on the up and up. Like he's like, no, like this guy's gonna burn down my stuff.
So I hope this isn't too forward of a question. We're new in town, but doesn't that man
Bless you.
Izak work for the Burgermeister?
And he's like,
why
hence
would
my dilemma.
Why would he want to burn down your establishment? That seems to not work well with what a Burgermeister would want to accomplish.
He's like, you would think, but the Burgermeister is. How long have you been in town? Have you heard of his festivals?
Yeah, we've heard of him. Yes.
I know he's potentially not all right upstairs, if you get my meaning.
I do. I'm gonna look around the shop a little bit more.
Okay.
Are there any toys of birds or anything of the sort?
Of birds,
Mm-hmm.
there are a couple.
Any ravens, perhaps?
They could be considered ravens. There is a one that is a kind of like a almost like seesaw in its motion. It has a raven sitting in a cauldron and a witch on the other side of the cauldron. And when you push the witch forward, it like pushes the raven down into the cauldron. And then when you let the witch go, the raven pops back up out of the cauldron and the witch kind of leans back. And you keep kind of doing that back and forth. And the other one is this kind of like wooden, almost effigy looking raven that has its like its wings and like its tail feathers and stuff. Everything, it's all painted black, made of wood, but they're held together by like bits of like small strings of leather, so you can kind of have like this fully articulated raven, at least in terms of like its wings.
Well, that's nifty.
Those are the only two that are related to birdly items.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so Gadoff is like, are you interested in anything? Business is business. If you wish to buy a toy, let me know. I'm sure I have it. And he kind of starts going around the shop holding up various things for you guys to examine.
How much is the puppet?
How much is the
Strahd.
puppet?
Oh, the Strahd.
He says that he would sell that for 9 silver.
Can I tinker with it first to see if I'm any
Yeah.
good at it?
Sure.
I will attempt to see if I can make this thing work.
Oh my god!
I foresee this going
Saturday
so
night.
bad.
I want Squirrel to start a Saturday night Strahd puppet show.
All right, so you've got.
Please be good quality.
It's not bad, not bad. And you kind of, put your hand up the puppet's rear end as you're wont to do with a
Oh, I
ventriloquist
thought it was
dummy.
a string puppet.
No, it's a ventriloquist dummy.
Oh, my brain went straight to string
ventriloquist, yeah.
puppet.
Not marionette.
Oh,
Nope,
my
not
bad.
marionette. That'd be cool though, but it's not.
Oh, okay, it's an entirely different type of puppet.
Skirp, you should buy Kilt a toy.
But it's a decent rendition of Strahd from the one time you met him.
I'll Is that a good idea?
Buying Kilt a toy?
Yeah. What does he need with one of these like dolls?
You give him a bird.
How
He can-
old is Kilt anyway? Did we even ask?
Perfectly good real bird.
He's like 6, or was it 6 or 9? One of the two.
He's young. He's no older than 9.
Yeah, I thought we established that when we first quote unquote rescued him. I.e. made him a slave.
I
He's
mean,
a squire.
it kind of looked like he was about to be made into pie.
So what's worse?
We did save him from making him from pie.
Is Kilt actually enjoying any of these toys? I'll roll perception if you'd like. Without, I don't want to ask him.
Go with it.
Insight? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Christ.
Yes, he seems to be enjoying himself very much.
Which, no. Anyone in particular, though? That's what my question was. I'm sorry. Is there any thing in particular he was enjoying?
He's been playing with the wood on string bat.
Wait, a ball and cup?
No,
Good.
like a paddle.
Oh, okay.
What's the going rate on the...
Also, or 9 copper. Did we lose Zeb? Or it's just
No,
that,
I
I'm
feel like
just
someone cut
thinking.
out.
that
I'm
price
thinking.
was extraordinary.
No, I was just thinking. Sorry. I
One fifth the cost of dinner.
I'm conflicted with myself based on the fact that I don't want to ask him where this other kid is that we're looking for, because I ask him looking for those bones, and then if it's so, I don't really want to ask him direct questions about the child we're actually looking for, because I don't really know how trustworthy he is. Knowing thieves can't, I already know what type of person he is in my life, so I don't want to ask him directly. Hoping maybe buying something would help that, but I'm not sure that's going to work either.
You're gonna try to like grease the palms a little bit by buying something. It's like,
Right.
well, here's the information, or don't
Yeah.
feel.
At the very worst, we already know that he can be coerced by threatening to burn down his shop.
Let's not do that.
I will negotiate for the both the Strahd puppet and what that kid wants. To half the price, but in Thieves Can't offer him a gold for both, and information if he has any on this child that I'm looking that my one of my party mates is looking for other business. The normal conversation is me negotiating as I already have.
Okay, he's he's pleased to do business with. Yes, step this way, and kind of in the can't language. He's like, yeah, that'll work. He's like, come over here, make sure they don't the extra money. And then he tells you that he knows the boy. He tends to hang out. What location is that? He'll hang out on occasion near the southern gate, which is kind of south of N6 and N5, because they can play outside of town safely, in quotes, right there, and get back inside the gates quickly enough if anything goes wrong.
And anything he'd like to share about this kid that he thinks I might be interested in.
He says, no, like he tries to sell me odd junk for extra. I haven't seen him try to do that in a while.
All right, now you're cutting out.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
What part did you miss?
I assume you said he tries to sell you adjunct every now and then, but he hasn't done that in a while?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. You broke up, but I kind of pieced it together. I will insight to make sure I feel this guy is actually telling me the truth and everything he said.
All right, go for it.
I think he is the honest guy in the world.
Yep.
I fully trust this guy, so that works for me. I will give him the money and take the toys, and I will hand the bat thing or whatever it is that the kid was Raven thing the kid was playing with to him.
This kid's gonna need a sheet of his own. Yeah, it was the bat string paddle thing.
Okay.
Okay, so he kind of like, thanks. And he acts very, very grateful.
Acts great.
Once we're outside, I will tell you guys that I completely trust this guy's information and relay what he said about the child.
Think it's worth heading in that direction. I guess what time of day is it that we could tell?
By this point, it's probably noonish, maybe 1.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
you guys have been doing some traveling, but it's still day.
So once we're out of the store, I will explain to the other two what I saw when I followed the guy to N4 with a very dilapidated looking house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Manor, I guess you'd call it.
Okay.
If anybody has anything they want to do with that information.
Is N4 you said, right?
Yeah, correct.
At some point in our travels along the way, I'd like to inquire about where I can find the Burgermeister. But we can save that for when we get into a more crowded area.
All right. If you want to, since you guys were going to head to like the N6 area, you can always try to ask somebody in the town square.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Anything like specific you're gonna ask them for, or
Oh,
like
I just
specific details of?
just looking for a good way to contact the Burgomeister, like where he's located. I might have some questions about a couple of houses in the area.
All right. N3 is now on your map. It says the Burgomeister's manor that way, and gives you directions to the N3 area. It says you could also, if you see that guard of his, and he very clearly says like guard in like air quotes. You could probably also ask him for directions to the Burgomeister.
The man with the hands.
And
Right.
he says yes, the man with the hand. And kind of
Right-hand
uncomfortably
man.
clears his throat and says, "Yes, I need to look at my wrist. I need to go," and starts walking away.
Does he have a sundial on his wrist?
There's nothing on the man's wrist.
What a curious encounter.
All right. On your way, everybody notices with their passive perceptions this time that two things of importance. One, there are 3 ravens perched up on the side of a building as you guys walk by. And additionally, it appears your tail is back.
My tail has never left, dude. I check it all the time.
I was gonna say that's good news for at least one of us.
I have yet to lose that thing.
You know what I mean. Smart asses.
Where are the ravens perched? Just on a random building?
Yeah, just perched on a random building kind of high up, and they start squawking when you guys kind of come into view. Keep squawking as you kind of keep walking past the building they're perched on.
Found near them with minor illusion. They flutter away.
You just make doves because reasons.
Never. Might make them run away.
Do you want to make them run away?
I don't know. They're squawking at us, right? Like, so I insightly think that's them. Somebody probably owns these, and they're like a lookout of some sort. That's how I see it.
So
Really
I'm
shitty look.
yeah, not very stealthy. I believe this might be one of the tarot card readings.
Is it?
Uh,
I should probably right. Mercenary, rogue, evokers. Which ones were
the rogue. I see a nest of ravens there. You'll find the prize.
Oh,
So I think it'd be worth us taking a look at it. Although, do we all notice we have a tail, or is it just
This time, yeah, you guys all do.
okay? I say to the group we should make note of this place and come back and check when we are
what if it's time
without our
sensitive?
company.
The ravens just now appeared.
Is there a nest there?
There is
Or
no
can I
nest.
see-
They're just perched on top of a building.
Okay.
No building in particular. Call it. We'll say it's this one right here, just because.
It's gonna look
It's
odd
nice.
if we just start climbing on somebody's gutters, isn't
It's
it?
a nice random building.
Yeah, that's probably a bad idea. But I mean, yeah, there is no nest. So I mean, it's kind of. If we move towards them, do they fly away like they're trying to get us to lead them, or are they just squawking at us?
They're just squawking at you. Like moving towards them is such that like you're passing the house.
Right.
Like you're not close enough. Like you can't reach up and grab them. They're up on like a second-story building.
Well, I guess we'll just
Make
keep
note,
an
I
eye out
guess.
for them.
Yeah.
Try to find out if we see them going anywhere.
All right. And continuing, so the southern gate, if you guys didn't get it, it's this one down here. Pinging.
Thinking in the
It's
wrong
got like
layer.
little. Oh, hold on, map layer. Bink. Pew. Down yonder.
What do we do about the tail? I whisper.
What do you do about the tail?
We could talk to him.
Tail?
We could confront them, yes.
Can we like turn the corner past N6 or whatever, and then just like turn around?
Aren't we like? Isn't that like town square area? Oh no, that's N8, right?
Yeah.
So there's not
N5
like.
is like the bazaar basically. I'm just
Right,
thinking like if
so-
whoever the next corner is or something.
So if
Hopefully
N5 is
somewhere
the
without
bazaar,
people.
we could kind of like separate slowly just by like one of us stopping, and then that way
Mhm.
he has to get between us, and then we can kind of all circle around him because he can't tail us off. But we're all in the same area at the same time too.
Yeah.
Try to tactfully surround him, and then we can figure out which one of us he's actually following if it's one particular.
Well, he followed both of you to the toy shop.
Right, so it's either me or Skirp at this point because he chose to follow us rather than you guys.
It's true, and there were 4 of us that went into the inn, so
It could be killed.
It could be killed.
maybe he was hired to look for the missing kid.
Maybe he's the pie lady, henchman.
That's it.
Kill,
You
you're
could,
in danger. That's why I bought you a toy.
Good thing.
I am of mind to do something about this dude though.
Do we want to try the tactically separate in the bazaar area and see if we can get him surrounded to confront him without him with the ability to run?
Yeah. Yeah,
down
let's
for that.
confront him.
Confrontation.
Agreed.
Do we want
I
to try to like?
I say Skirp goes the opposite direction as I do, just to see if he prioritizes him or me, just to see if he has a preference, to see if we can pinpoint which one he's following.
I was
Sounds
wondering
good.
if it makes sense for a couple of us to like try to keep it not like a post at the exits to the bazaar.
If we post
Okay,
up, I
I
think
could-
he'll realize that we're trying to get him if we're
Well,
casually
not like
shopping.
post up, but like keep an eye out, right? So you can't
Right.
run away. So like I can go like mess around and haggle like on the north end of the bazaar or something.
Yeah, that's the plan. We all separate in there, in the exits, and try to catch him in the middle.
Sounds good.
All right, let's do it.
Our plan is. Well, it's off
Uh-oh.
anyway. No, I paused. I didn't cut out. Don't worry.
Oh,
Okay.
All right. It's clear as you guys kind of start to trail off. Like he tries to initially stick with the group that's larger, and then you guys kind of keep breaking off more and more, and he's not sure what to do. And so eventually he kind of starts getting nervous and starts to turn around and go the other way. But because your guys' kind of like pincher mover is set up properly, you're basically able to like be there and intercept as soon as you want to be there and intercept him.
That's the plan. I'd say as soon as he's uncomfortable and turning, like he's done trying to follow any of us, that's when we do it.
Agreed.
Okay.
Even,
He's
even
just
better if there's like a small alley we can shove him into.
he very quickly just kind of tries to go in between you guys. He just excuse me. I seem to have lost my way, and just tries to nonchalantly keep pushing through.
I'll let one of the
Who
more
is he trying to go
intimidating
through?
factors do it.
We'll say that he's trying to push through the smaller members of your party, so it'll definitely be like Skirt and
Perfect.
probably Squirrel, because I imagine Squirrel's not terribly well armored.
God, he
Big
picked the
mistake.
wrong members.
I'm just in rogue.
Yeah.
He picked the wrong two. Can't always win.
Yeah, that's not gonna. I am not going to allow it.
No,
Alright, and,
excuse me. We'd actually like to talk to you if possible.
He says, "Oh, certainly. What can I help you with?"
My companion, and I hand point down towards Skirps, has a few questions for you.
And he just kind of says, "Yes, little boy. What can I do for you?"
Hang on. Oh man,
Uh-oh. Oh no.
I've been time. I will. I'll lean him close to him, and I'll flip up my visor, and give him the old goblin stare.
And he's like, "Oh,
there it is.
oh,
He made the
Oh.
prop. That's awesome.
Yeah. For some reason, I can't see my own camera, so I don't know how well it's centered.
You're good.
It's good. That's good.
You're perfect.
All right.
I got it. Nicely
Right.
done."
Thank you. I'd just like to get some appreciation on the fact that the hat comes off, right?
I like it.
You put that back on, the jaunty tilt. Perfect.
Nicely done. Very nicely
you.
done.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah.
So what was it I could help you with?"
See, at this point, I've fully lost the plan, so I'm just gonna keep staring at him.
Okay. And he's just, it's like, "Did one of you need a question answered instead?" He's like,
What?
"Otherwise, I'm just gonna
For the
go."
rest of us.
Yeah.
All right. I guess I'll do it. Yeah, you've been busy today, haven't you?
He says, I don't know what you mean. I have had a busy day, out running errands, but it's the middle of the day. Seems like a good time to do it."
Yeah, a lot of errands. Similar errands that we had, except I didn't see you actually do anything.
I'm
You
sorry,
always
I'm
were
not
just
sure.
you were always just a few steps behind us.
He's
And I'll
like,
sort
"Oh,
of like step in a little bit closer to him. How tall is this guy?
he's of average height. He's maybe like 5'8", 5'10".
Oh, good. So I'm only a tad bit shorter than him.
It's like, it's a small town, so I think I've seen you guys here and there, but nothing. It's like, do you guys hear that?"
Hear what?
Sounds of my party's patience coming to an end. Yes, I do hear that.
He's like, "No, I think
What-
it's coming from over there," and he points over Skirp's head.
Hang on. I got this.
Does this dude appear armed?
No, he does not.
Oh, that's good.
Oh.
I pivot to see what he's pointing at. Look
He's
intently in the direction behind me.
he immediately tries to push past you as you turn around.
That's not gonna happen. See. How do unarmed strikes work in this game?
It's a D4, unless you're a monk and have scaling or a natural weapon attack. So it'd be 20 plus strength, and then damage is D4. And if you are non-proficient, it does non-lethal.
Uh, um, great.
Give him
Oh, I
the
thought that was a
graps.
20 for a second, like a nat 20.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, you reach up and just like clip him underneath the jaw.
That's not a
I
nut
think he would
shot?
probably be. Yeah, I was gonna
He-
say.
What?
He punches
It
up.
wants to be. He punches up. I'll say. That's up to you. What do you want to do? But otherwise, it's a definite connection. He's like, oh, what the hell? What are you
The
doing?
damage check didn't go through. This is crap. Yeah. Give him a solid Charlie horse. Yeah. Say, Now, what were you pointing at?
All right. What do you guys want? You caught me. Okay, I'm following you.
Why?
Because my mistress is looking for shall we say able-bodied
Raise my hand.
helpers. And he flinches immediately. He's like, no, don't hit me. I'm telling you the truth.
Keep my hand up.
What does she want?
She's just looking for people to help her. That's all.
Help her
We're
with
the most
what?
trustworthy group ever.
Dealing with some issues she's having around town with
What
certain
kind of-
individuals.
I'll step forward again towards him and ask him what kind of issues.
The kind that involve the Burgomeister.
That all the issues in this town, from my understanding.
He just
I-
kind of grimaces. He says, a fair few of them.
My face softens a bit, and I would say, "Why didn't you say so?"
This is I just was trying to figure out what you guys were up to in town before I, made sure that you might be the ones. But since you caught me, I think maybe she's not wrong. Maybe we're not wrong, and you might be the ones to help her out a bit if you're interested.
All right, I'm going to do an insight check to see if he's being truthy about the wanting to do something about Burgomeister man.
Yep, he appears to kind of be getting your guys' idea and hiring.
And can I kind of discern whether or not he means deal with the Burgomeister in a good way or more of a self-serving kind of way?
I'm gonna say there's not really enough information there to get that.
Okay. Well, perhaps you should introduce us then.
He says, okay, I think we can probably arrange that if you're interested.
Dinner tonight.
I think she'll probably want to invite you, so I'll check in with her, but I'm sure you'll hear from her sooner than later. She's quite prompt.
Who is she?
She is Lady Voctor.
ASL. R. RASL.
RSTLNE.
Probably mid
Well,
to late
goblin
50s.
here.
Location here. Here, she's a lady. So
All right, so we're just missing the R.
what's the R?
Race.
Barovian.
Oh.
Don't be racist, Seb. Jeez.
I can be as racist as I want. I'm a tiefling.
I don't
Wait, what?
think that's how it works.
That's
but
not how that
okay.
works.
I don't think that's how that works either.
It works however I want it to work because I'm a tiefling.
I also don't think that's how that
That's
works.
also not. Just because you're a tiefling doesn't mean you're God.
Oh no, opposite of. I'm
Yet.
abyssal.
Unless
Exactly.
You a god.
that's how you want it to work. In which case.
Either way, we have business to attend to that we would appreciate no more interruptions.
He's next time you see me, I won't be skulking around. And he
Shadows.
kind of just I'll be on the up and up.
Wearing a spotlight 50 yards behind.
It's
That's him in the
somebody cast
corner.
It's I'm like, huh? That's actually not a bad idea, and I'm going to cast light on him.
He's like, what?
Oh, jeez.
What is this?
He gets a
What's the
saving throw if he's
duration?
unwilling.
What's the duration on light?
8 hours, right? It's something ridiculous.
I think it's a little shorter than that. It's 1 hour.
That's what she said.
1 hour.
It's 1 hour.
Okay.
I'm just like, consider it,
A gift.
trying to make you look your best here.
It's like
And
maybe.
maybe a
This is proof that we're willing to talk to your mistress. She'll understand.
Very well then. He bows and turns
it's like-
around and very quickly leaves the area.
I turn to Skirp. I'm just like, fucking nice shot, dude. Holy shit.
Hey man, nice shot.
People are always more intimidated by punches to the lower body.
Yes, they are. Now we know that for a fact.
Fucking like Shoryuken.
Shall we continue to the south gate, gentlemen and lady?
Whoa, she's
Let's
a
do that.
lady. All right. The south gate is currently open. The gates are not drawn up. There's a single guardsman, pseudo on duty. It would appear he doesn't appear to be really paying too much attention to stuff. There are also more ravens here.
A nest of them?
There's no nests. There's just they're perched on top of this group is split 2 and 2 on either side of the poles.
We've added a raven.
You should start putting light on all of them.
Oh no.
Isn't it
Only for
touch though? Yeah.
Only the ones that follow us.
And they're squawking as you guys walk through the gates.
Is it the same type of squawking as before? Like, does there any seem discernible pattern?
Nope, just squawking for squawking's sake.
Okay.
Squawk, squawk, squawking on heaven's door.
Squawk, squawking on heaven's door.
I actually look at them as we pass them. Can I help you? And just see if they respond. And that's what I
Apparently
get.
the cat meows.
Boo's helping with the sound effects. They just all disperse. It's a flapping of wings. They're just gone.
After I ask them a question?
Yep.
Do they all go the same direction?
They just kind of scatter.
Okay.
No common directionality.
I swear I've done this quest in the secret world. But I just don't remember how it went.
Probably ended in your death.
Probably
I
a couple
remember how it
times.
went.
I know you had to be a ghost and be dead to do it, though. I remember that part. Anyway, do we see the kid?
1 for sadness, 2 for joy, 2 for a boy, 4 for a girl, 6 for a secret never to be told, 7's for silver. I don't remember all of it, but anyway. You do see 2 kids, older, probably maybe 3 or 4, maybe 5 years older than Kilt. One of them has a shovel that he's kind of like brandishing like a weapon, and the other has a stick, and they're kind of like mock sword fighting.
Maybe we should give Kilt a real sword and let him go play.
Isn't that going to lead to someone's death?
Kilt's not a murderer. I bought him a toy.
You just use a paddle ball.
It's
got range.
Is
and
either of the
melee.
kids the ones that we think we're looking for?
Yes, they both are.
Okay. Yeah. How do you guys want to approach this subject?
I think your earlier idea was right. I think I should leave that to you guys to
hash out.
interrogate, investigate.
Okay. So stick with my spell
Otherwise-
component idea.
Oh, maybe, I don't know. I mean, they're just kids.
Right, but
But-
I assume he took them trying to make a profit. That's what I was getting at. So if we offer to buy them because whatever reason.
Yeah. Yeah. You probably like offer him like 1 gold and he'll be like, "Oh my god."
All right, so yeah, how do you want this to go down?
I will make sure I look as wizardly with my robes as I can and start walking that way, I guess.
All right, and they see you, and they both
Okay.
They both kind of stop and they drop. They don't drop their weapons, but they kind of they let them down.
But before you go too much further, if you I want to let you know that if you do anything wizardly like, I can make it sound or feel pretty awesome.
Okay. I have the arcanal assist, as you say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially like thundery things.
All right, and they're just who are you? Like, are you there? So you see kind of like your fiendish things, and like, do you know Ezek?
I was told you're the ones that I'm supposed to be talking to for a certain component for my spells.
They're spells, or like we don't know anything about spells.
No, but you may know something about bones, and I'm looking for very specific bones.
The one kid looks at the other and like full on clocks him in the shoulder. He's like, Milivoj, you weren't supposed to tell anybody. And he kind of looks at him and he takes like a mock swing with his shovel and he's like, I didn't tell anybody.
Boys, I don't care who told who anything. I need the bones for my spells.
I need them both.
It's like, we don't. And the kid that punched the one kid punches him again. He says, what did you do? And he starts rubbing his shoulder. He's like, I didn't. I already sold him.
Info.
What are you gonna? He's like, well, he says, no, I'm gonna get in trouble. What would I tell you? It's like, you're not my parents. You're not my real dad anyway. And he kind of starts backing away from you.
Suppose this is when I do something wizardly and intimidate him.
Do something intimidating.
Right, yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Can I smack him with the free market?
That would be awesome.
I always forget about it until it's perfect.
Little kids always suffering at the hands of the free market.
Yep. That's how it goes.
I don't have. Can I use persuasion instead of intimidate?
You can try, yes.
Okay. Then yeah, I'm going to use persuasion. Is to they're children, so threatening them is probably better.
Indeed.
Coming
They
from
are
the
smart.
parent. I am far worse than your parents will ever be. Give me the information so I can get my bones, or we shall see if there's anything left to find you for your parents to deal with.
And like,
Oh yeah,
can I hear him talking while he does this?
yeah. You can. You guys are close
When
enough.
he like perfect timing, like after he says left to deal with, I just want there to be like a rumble of thunder, like just right exactly at that time.
All right. They both jump, and they're like, okay. And he's like, I sold them to Henrik, the Vandervoort, the coffin maker.
He ask you to steal them?
He said he'd pay me if I did.
I get the location of. This is the second time we've been told to go to the coffin maker, right? So do we know where this location's at?
Yeah, it's kind of in between N6 and N5.
When did you deliver them?
He says a couple days ago. Like, I just we needed the money. It's not easy being here.
Yeah, try being green.
I thought the same thing. It's not easy being green. I just turn around, annoyed, and start walking back towards the party.
As you start to walk away, thunder claps again.
And they both the boys just split running.
I need wings. That's what this helmet needs.
Need wings.
Helmet.
Hmm.
Good, but it
All right.
I informed the party that
Glory.
Henrik put the child up to selling it, and Coffin Maker has the bones in question currently, as of 2 days ago.
Time to see a man about a wooden box.
All right, and that will be where we end it for the evening.
Wow. No combat rolls at all. Oh no, we did have one punch. One
We
punch,
had one
man.
good punch.
It was a hell of a punch. One
It
punch
was
man.
a hell of a punch. He won our only encounter with one fist. It was
That's all it
great.
takes.
We are confirmed tentatively, right, for the second Thursday in November for our
Which
next
is the 9th.
game, which is November 9th. Yes?
Sounds good
Yep.
to me.
Alright.
Yep.
I will put that in the calendar so I remember because my calendar.
November 9th. Okay.
All right. Well, good game, gentlemen.
Good
All right.
game.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing exercises and things to hopefully strengthen my wrists so that it stops hurting to use my computer.
Okay.
And then
Well.
hopefully I'll be able to be around more, Zeb, to watch your stream.
Awesome. They
Best of luck
I
with that,
never
sir.
heard what happened to your wrist.
Oh, it just over the last month or so has been starting to hurt and then getting worse whenever I do really anything.
Gotcha.
There,
My fingers tingle, my wrist hurts, my elbow starts to like pain. It's weird.
That kind of sounds like compressed nerves.
Yeah.
I can see if I can dig up. There's like a YouTube video that a doctor put out about just like finger exercises and stuff you can do to like stretch those parts of your body.
Alright, chat, that's the end of stream.
Yeah, and I have another friend who had a
and
similar
I
issue.
appreciate
He
everybody
started
watching
doing
that who made it all. I
deadlifts,
have a
and he
feeling
said
that
it
many
made
of
the
you
pain just like disappear
made it to the
instantly.
end, and I understand
wow.
it's late. It's
2 days
really
in.
late.
The other thing
time
I
to
would
call
say
the
is
stream.
maybe,
I appreciate
I
everybody
am not a
watching.
doctor, but I have had like
I will be around
things in my
tomorrow
wrist.
morning. We're gonna finish up our game.
Maybe try
So, hang out if you can. See you in the
ibuprofen
morning,
or any,
guys.
Anti-inflammatories can sometimes help.
Yeah,
we're
I'm
not
taking
setting off hosts. It's
ibuprofen
too late.
pretty often.
So talk to you guys later. Peace.